to the WrestleTalk Podcast. For the next 2 hours, we will bring you the latest pro wrestling news, in-depth analysis of all your favorite promotions from across the globe, and much, much more. We will also bring you exclusive interviews with the greatest professional wrestling personalities on the local, national, and international levels. If you want to follow the WrestleTalk Podcast, check us out online at www.WrestleTalkPodcast.com. You can also follow us on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and Instagram. And now, it's time for the reigning, defending, undisputed leader in pro wrestling podcast, the WrestleTalk Podcast.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm the Maestro Jeremy Carp. Welcome to this week's edition of the WrestleTalk Podcast. I cannot do this alone. We got to wait for my dear friend, the Night Owl, Renee. But I'm going to tell you folks right now, we got an amazing show in store for you this evening. That is right. Somebody I know quite well, Tyler Cooley, who is unfiltered, uncensored, but he's got quite a charm and charisma to him. He will be joining us this evening. And of course, we'll have a lot of special surprises in store and a lot of things to talk about. And this is episode 476 of the WrestleTalk Podcast. Now, for everybody tuning in, and also good evening to the one, the only Herb Simmons, one of the greatest minds in the history of the wrestling industry. Always a great pleasure to have him on. And of course, our amazing Susie. Thank you so much for tuning in. As always, folks, you can find us on Facebook, X, and on YouTube as well. Now, we also cannot do what we do here at the WrestleTalk Podcast without the amazing help from who we have, and that would be the amazing sponsors here. So I'm going to run right through these sponsors. Thank you so much, but I'm going to need a little help with that.
Promotional consideration paid for by the following.
I always love that. So here at the WrestleTalk Podcast, we would like to thank all the great sponsors, them being Royal Mills Transportation. Thank you, good old Dewan Mills. We got Nobleman's Barber Lounge in Kansas City, Missouri. Kincaid Arcade at the renowned Oak Park Mall. Interstate 70 Sports Media, thank you all so much. Little Popeyes Designs. You can get yourself a nice WrestleTalk Podcast tumbler, which we'll show you shortly. And, of course, the world premiere fantasy wrestling group known as the FWWC. And like I was saying, folks, you also use the hashtag WTP and hashtag Let's Talk Wrestling to engage with all of us amazing hosts. And speaking of hosts, it is my pleasure to welcome one of the OGs, one of the most hardcore wrestling fans I know, one of the most dedicated wrestling fans I know, and podcasters I know. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show. The one, the only, the Night Owl.
¿Qué pasa? ¿Qué pasa? ¿Qué pasa? Members of the WrestleTalk family.
Oh my goodness gracious. Night Owl, Night Owl, Night Owl.
Let's go. Man, I am sharper than a number 2 pencil on test day, my brother. And I am more official than a referee with a golden whistle. You heard me? You know why? Because I got the world famous WrestleTalk Podcast tumbler right here. Filled with America's oldest brew. Delicious, man. But anyway, happy to be here. Carp, always a pleasure to have you on. I know you are busy running your own media enterprise. And for you to make time for the WrestleTalk podcast, man, I can't thank you enough for being here. I know that it'll be myself and another individual doing most of the hosting here tonight, but you will be around. You'll be popping in and out. And I know there's going to probably be some high spots topics that you're going to want to chime in on. Now, here's the extra special surprise that I didn't even know that I wanted to thank you. I believe we're broadcasting on not only the WrestleTalk podcast platforms, but we're also broadcasting on the world famous I-70 sports media platforms. So this is a first time ever, guys, in 2024, the WrestleTalk podcast and I-70, we are actually broadcasting under all of the same umbrella, and it is le magnifique, man. I could not be any happier. So if you were tuning in for the first time via the I-70 Sports Media Empire, muchas gracias, thank you, and shalom.
As always, of course.
Love y'all, man. This is wonderful, bro. But hey, it ain't just me, baby. This ain't about the Night Owl. I think we got a young gun who's got some gold over his shoulder that's ready to join us here tonight, baby. Let's get it on.
All right, let's bring up a dear friend of mine, a dear friend of the Night Owls, and of course, a renowned member of the WrestleTalk podcast family. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to bring on board some fresh young blood for this wrestling universe we live in. The one, the only, Gabriel. Dang on, Gabriel. You better unmute yourself.
We got it taken care of. Whoop. Okay, I am unmuted. I'm getting the notification. Yep. Making sure. WrestleTalk podcast family. It's been too long. It has been way too long, dude. And boy, do we have a lot to talk about. I threw some questions in the randomizer because for those of you who, hey, Tyler Cooley, welcome to the chat, dude. I believe he's down here in Florida. I've been getting a lot of my friends in the local area to check out the page. WrestleTalk podcast family. It's good to see you. What episode are we on, Jeremy?
We are on 476. The countdown to historic number 500 is on, my friend.
Dude, 500 episodes of the WrestleTalk podcast. And that's the thing. I'm with Night Owl on this. I want the momentum to keep going because it's not a surefire thing, but I'm willing to keep making a couple more episodes. Like, even if we get to 500. Because I think there's going to be a lot of wrestling happening in the next couple years. Let me tell you something.
Just because we're going to do 500 doesn't mean we're going to stop at 500. Number 500 isn't the series finale now.
We do it
500
for you guys.
is just a benchmark. Now, Gabe, I have to say, before we get into a lot of the historic things that we do here on the WrestleTalk podcast, a lot of the things that make us world-renowned, unfortunately, there is one more voice I have to add to this show. And it's not a voice I really want to add. And the Night Owl's all prepared for it, but I'm going to do it. So if everybody that is tuning in is wearing a hat, if you could remove it at this time. Remove your hats. That's you, Night Owl. Show your bald ass head to everybody.
Yes, sir.
And salute as we show our love to the greatest country in the world, that being America, damn it. America.
Okay, Cardi. Here's the good part. Here's the good part.
No.
Yes. Y'all see the lid? Y'all see the lid?
Oh, an affected prostate.
What is that? WrestleMania 33?
It is. Look at that. Man.
See, that's what got so frustrating about WrestleMania. They stopped numbering them because they're like, "Oh shit, don't remember that it's we're."
See, I'm glad Susie agrees with me on this. That her ears bleed every time.
What's that line, Carp? What's that line? It brings a tear to my eye and blood to my ears every single.
Yeah, and it cuts years off my life.
Every single
Oh
time.
God, she sounds. Look at. I love this. This is what Susie says. She sounds like Eddie's wife trying to sing.
Which Eddie? Ed or
Guerrero,
Eddie?
Vicky Guerrero sounds like.
Oh,
Vicky.
No, man, you can't say
just,
that name on this show.
Yeah,
I was going to say you're queuing it up. Yeah, you're queuing it up.
Oh gosh.
Nah,
Say that name.
Like
Yo,
Beetlejuice,
saying
dude, what did you expect?
yeah, saying Vicky Guerrero's out there. Saying
it's like saying Beetlejuice
VG's name,
sometimes.
VG's. Oh, that even sounds worse. VG, that's not good.
That sounds like a venereal disease.
That sounds like yeah, saying her name is the word we shall not say here on this show because we already know what's going to happen.
The WrestleTalk Podcast.
Excuse me. This is not right. Damn it. It ain't right. So my man Herb, just real quick, Herb. Obviously, we love the support. Buddy Gabe, who's down in the Tampa area, Sunny Money is not here today. And then just to correct you, Gabe, just so you can see everybody's fair game here on the WTP, Tyler Cooley is actually based out of the St. Louis area, not down in Florida. I think you're talking about another Tyler Cooley. That's another. I know who you're talking about. That's another Tyler. This is Tyler Cooley from the St. Louis area. Just FYI.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
We claim Tyler. Well, I mean, not all of us, but
My mistake. I have a buddy in Florida named Tyler. I think I'm mistaking, but I think he has the same name.
I'm sure there's somebody named Tyler that lives in Florida, Gabe.
I lied. Sonny is here, y'all.
Oh,
Hey!
Yeah. Hey,
Sonny,
we know where
welcome to the
WrestleMania is this year, right, guys? It's in Philadelphia. It's basically Money's hometown. I'm shocked. Oh, of course. I'm an idiot.
Can I just
Of course
admit,
he was in the chat.
it's going to be a wasted opportunity if Robert McElhenney and the gang from Always Sunny in Philadelphia don't make an appearance this year. At least in the audience.
Yeah, or just some Charlie. If we can just get a little Charlie.
Yes, dude. Charlie Day would be perfect.
Green Man. That's what I want. I
Yes.
want some Green Man.
Hey, man.
This is going off the rails. Going off the rails quick. All right, so shout out, and Herb was right. Sonny was here. He was in the comment section. I'm a bozo. Shame on me. Shame on me. But let's do this, Carp. Why don't you go ahead and get us in the high spots, baby? And myself and Gabriel Arsen, our Warriors Heart champion, we'll take it in. And if there's any topic that you want to pop in on, man, then just come right on back, baby, because we know that you're wrestling insight.
We are going to kick it off if I can find. There we go. We got all of our lovely stuff ready for
DJ Money, baby.
Yep. Good old DJ Money, ladies and gentlemen.
Mic check, mic check. Yeah. All right. WrestleTalk Podcast. DJ Money. Yeah. Let's go. Welcome to High Spots, where we pop news like clear chops. We talk shop, coming through the screens of a laptop and non-stop like a runner speeches of blacktop. We hit hard like chair shots and backdrops. Like a spark flash, look like a barely flop. Now that's hard. We up to speed while they stay slow. WrestleTalk Podcast. Now they know we about to start the show.
All right, let's do this damn thing. Gabriel Arsen, it is time for tonight's edition of the WrestleTalk Podcast High Spot segment. If you're new here, here's what we do. There's a randomizer. The topic comes up, and we discuss. We submitted a few. The other members of the WrestleTalk Podcast team submitted a few. But I'm telling you what, you're going to get our fresh reactions. No fluff, no gimmicks, just exactly what we think. And if you want to participate, it's easy. Just shoot my man, Jeremy Carp. He's in the back doing work. There you see him. He's already on his phone doing his thing back there. Okay? Hit him up. Hit up the show. We will shoot you the link, and you can join us for about the next 40 minutes or so right here on the WrestleTalk Podcast High Spot segment. And I promise at some point Gabe will stop moving his phone around, and it'll be fine. But my point is, we want you to... No, absolutely. That's what matters. And I love that shirt. We're going to talk about that here in just a minute. But we want you guys to participate. You know what? Since I'm loving the numbers, I'm seeing 32 peeping us live right now just on Facebook, let me take a picture of y'all because y'all are looking sexy, boy. If you guys share and hit like, I may just give some. I got a Bootios backpack up there. I got a couple of action figures still in the box. I got a couple of signed books.
This merch.
Yeah, Bluegrass Brawlers. I got a Shawn Michaels book there that's not signed, but it's brand new. So if you guys keep showing the love, sharing this damn thing, and supporting the WTP, use that hashtag. You guys saw it earlier. Let's Talk Wrestling, hashtag WTP. You may be walking away with a free gimmick, absolutely no cost to you. We ship it just as a thank you on behalf of my brother, the champion, Gabriel Arsen, and yours truly here, Renee Martinez, on the WrestleTalk Podcast for episode 476. Insane. I know you guys were talking about it before. But I'm ready for the first topic, baby. Go ahead, Gabe.
No, just it's unreal to think, dude. Like I'm still relatively new, but it feels like a lot, man. Like just how many more episodes that are still left? Like 25 or 24 left, and it's like we got a lot of wrestling to talk. And it's like WrestleMania's around the corner. It's a week.
Less, bro. 4 days.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
let's go. I had to bust out my WrestleMania hat. Oh, by the way, since we're all showing off our t-shirts, I know you're going to show yours off. Also got the WrestleMania right here. I believe it was Rock. No, I'm sorry. It was the Daniel Bryan WrestleMania. It was also Roman Brock Lesnar 1. Randy Orton was active at the time. So we are definitely doing big things here. Brought out all my WrestleMania merch for today just because today's such a special show. But, Gabe, enough of the small talk. Are you ready for tonight's edition of the High Spot segment?
I'm born ready, Night Owl. Let's dive into this.
All right, my DJ in the back, the Maestro. That's what we call him, the Maestro. Boy, he's on the ones and twos. Go ahead and cue us up, baby. DJ Money, if we haven't done that yet. I think we did. First topic, let's go. All right, I'll go ahead and read it off the screen. If you want to take it first there, Mr. Gabriel, the question reads, what are your thoughts on Leah Maivia being announced as the final inductee to the WWE Hall of Fame class of 2024? Sir, the floor is yours.
I got to tell you guys, this is a classy pick. This, to me, is important just in terms of contribution. Like, I know we all understand the familial connection, and I'm sure we're all thinking it's going to somehow tie into the story. I know you are. But this is a very nice pick to end the Hall of Fame, and I think it's a nice reminder that there's still a bunch of names we have left. I don't think they're out yet. But Night Owl, what do you think? Hit Susie Haas with that. I love, it's good representation. Because there's a lot of contributing people that are still not in the Hall of Fame on the women's side of wrestling. You're muted, bro.
Here's what's funny. I don't think that the casuals are even going to know who that is. But if you've been watching WrestleMania, she's been on the front row of probably the last 20 or so. Shout out, by the way, I know I saw this comment, didn't get a chance to mention it earlier. Kyle, a lot of snow up in Wisconsin. I mean, that's what you guys are known for, that and great cheese and pretty damn good football too. And that's coming from a casual Bears fan. So shout out to you, bro. Love.
Shout out to my family. I got family down up there. My roommates, Kelsey and Mike, down. Well, technically they're in Michigan, but like they're originally from Wisconsin. So
they're close enough to the Arctic Circle. So shout out to them.
Does that work?
Yeah, for real. Shout out to them. But no, I guess what I wanted to say is, as great as this honor is, I think this is much more of a Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame induction than it is a WWE induction. Okay. And here's what I mean by that. There have been people that have done very little in the WWE that have gone on to become members of the WWE Hall of Fame. You think of somebody, and I want to name a couple of the names that are going in this year. Barry Windham and Mike Rotunda as the U.S. Express are going in. Paul Heyman is going in. Bull Nakano is going in. And also,
that was a big surprise for me.
That's right. That's right. Because they usually don't honor.
Such a throwback, dude. You kidding me?
You got to love it, though, because there's definitely, I think, a subsection that it's not an official subsection.
She's still
of the
relevant to
WWE
WWF,
Hall of
though,
Fame,
which is what I love, though.
There's a tie back there.
Of course.
Right. But I guess my point is. No, absolutely. And what Susie said, hey, having the women there is always going to be a plus. But as far as I'm concerned, this is one of those things where they know the casual probably isn't going to know, but they know that the loyal, dedicated wrestling fan, guys like us, people like the people checking out the WrestleTalk podcast tonight, there's no question to us that this is deserved because of a lot of the professional wrestling that Miss Leah Maivia was involved in. Even before The Rock ever came to the WWE, obviously being married to Rocky Johnson, also being associated with one of the biggest promotions out west, including in the Polynesian Islands, and then their grandparents are in the business as well. Leah Maivia's grandmother, I believe, was a promoter as well, all the way dating back into the 30s, 40s, and 50s. If you guys have seen Young Rock, they talk about how far back that family goes in wrestling. So the antithesis of class, somebody who's dedicated their life to professional wrestling, and just because you never saw her in a WWE ring definitely doesn't mean that she doesn't deserve to be in the most recognizable Hall of Fame. Though to me, getting into the Cauliflower Alley Club or the Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame in Iowa, or some of these other places in Texas, to me, those Hall of Fames hold a little bit more water to me, because they encompass all of professional wrestling, not just WWE. But I do have to say that I love when the WWE does throw a bone to us hardcore fans. I absolutely love it.
Well, now more so than ever, because I feel like Triple H has a better understanding of the modern wrestling fan. Am I understanding this correctly? Because think about how good NXT was when he was still in charge of it, and then think about how good WWE's been since he's been in charge. Like, am I wrong?
I completely agree. It's been a total upgrade. And I'm curious because I did submit a couple of questions for the high spots. Hopefully they pop up during the time that we have allotted, because I think there are a lot of changes coming. So this one is one of those very subtle ones that I think we can all appreciate. And what we've been seeing on TV are some of the more obvious ones that some fans maybe don't appreciate as much. Oh, speaking of appreciation, shout out to my man Brandon Buck, representing the great state of Kansas, as always, the franchise, baby. Everybody knows. Make sure y'all follow my man on X. He's doing good things over there, man. A good dude, always supporting us, and we're always trying to support him to the best of our ability. That said, I got one more comment for you here, my guy Gabe. Can you read that off for us?
So Tyler Cooley, I went to George Trago Luthez Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame last year. Apologies if I butchered the pronunciation of that, by the way.
I think you did pretty well.
Okay, good. He can say Okada, but he can't say this guy's name.
Yeah, and for those of you that are tuning in for the very first time, just know we're definitely going to be talking a little bit more WrestleMania and stuff like that. But if you have been here before, you guys know that I'm 40. We've got guys that host here that are getting close to 50. We got Gabe that's in his 20s. Like, we cover every gamut of professional wrestling. So we are going to talk from old school from every once in a while. And then in the next segment, we may talk about Pretty Deadly.
There you go.
Who knows? I mean, that's WrestleTalk, baby. So you never know.
Well, you want that snack bag for wrestling. Everybody wants a little bit something different just so we can, have a conversation and introduce wrestling to new people who may never seen it. Like the fact that Haas has checked out New Japan, I'm proud of you, bro.
Yeah, my boy from the backwoods of West Virginia is now watching MLW and New Japan Pro Wrestling. Yeah, that's what we do here. We turn people from wrestling casuals to wrestling savants. We do that, baby. That's what WrestleTalk Podcast does. I'm sure Jeremy in the background, he's going to give me the nod. He's going to be like, yeah, daddy, hell yeah. Number 2, real quick on this. So Tyler, if you've got some stuff to send it to Carp, because he's the DJ. He can get the stuff uploaded and everything for us tonight. And by the way, we are looking to give away some merch here tonight. Like I said, I got a lunchbox. I got an unopened action figure. I got a couple of books. So if you guys are big pro wrestling fans, I want to see you guys in the comment section. Share this thing, like it. And if you want to come on, especially if you're willing to come on and discuss some wrestling with us, it can be an unrelated topic. If you're willing to come on screen, we'll send you the link. It won't cost you a dime, okay? And if you got a strong take, baby, we'll just go ahead and give it to you. That's how straight we. I mean, you read this sign behind me, right? You guys read this sign. What's it say? It says, my sense of humor may hurt your feelings. So that's the kind of show that we are. We're going to keep it a buck. We're going to keep it 100. And we love welcoming in new people. That is our absolute favorite thing. And roasting each other. That's probably number 2. We love that. That's probably second favorite thing.
Of course.
All right, bro. Are we ready?
Yes. Let's keep it going.
All right, Maestro, you know what to do, baby. Let's go ahead and cue up the randomizer for the next topic of the evening. Ooh, I think I'm going to read this one. Oh, no, you read this one off. I'll take it first because this one is a good one.
Yeah, I see you're interested in the answering it first. So, with Swerve Strickland defeating Konosuke Takeshita and becoming #1 contender for Samoa Joe's AEW title, will it indeed soon be whose house?
Swerve's house!
Yeah. So, Night Owl, what are your thoughts?
All right, baby. Well, I'm going to say it. I'm going to say it just like I said it when Cam Newton got drafted. I'm going to say it just how I said it when Steph Curry got drafted. Swerve is on one of the most organic, meteoric rises that I have ever seen, especially in AEW. This is their version of the Daniel Bryan story. Okay? Oh, really need to reach out to Timothy Givens, part owner of Operator. Yeah, Timmy, we would love to have you. Shoot a message to my guy, Jeremy Karp, and we'll get you lined up. And we can probably get you on several different platforms. You can come on WrestleTalk. You can come on I-70. I mean, we got a big conglomerate business going on.
I need to interrupt just 1 second.
Go.
I want to give a big shout out to, we have, boys, this is a record. We have over 54 people tuning in live right now across almost 7-8 different platforms. I mean,
weren't you breaking records a couple weeks ago yourself, Carp? I know you were breaking some records a couple weeks ago.
I know, and now we are at 55. So thank you all so much. I'm going backstage, but I want to give a shout out for everybody tuning in.
Dude.
Yeah, what did I say?
Are my ears like correct? I heard 54.
55.
55. Yep. Thank you all so much for it.
We love y'all, man.
It's humbling, dude. I'm just like, dang, 55 people are checking this out.
Pretty amazing. And I'll tell you what, man, this is all building up to episode 500, which is going to be epic. We are working on a major name for you guys, okay? So just stay tuned for news on that. But just based on what you did this past weekend, who knows? We're up to 57, by the way. So shout out to you guys for that. But let me finish my Swerve take. And thank you, Maestro, because that was great to hear. Okay? Back to Swerve. And I'm going to keep this brief. His rise is unprecedented and unplanned. And I love it. It reminds me on a much smaller scale of the ascension of Daniel Bryan through the ranks that led him all the way to the Yes Movement, to winning the championship over Triple H and Batista and everybody else that he fought. Swerve has given himself a platform. He's multi-talented. He was hyper successful in NXT. He would have been on the main roster given the chance. He went to AEW and literally started from the bottom. If you go back and look at some of his first opponents, he wasn't necessarily getting the Okada treatment, with all due respect. This dude really took it out the mud. And to see him making this ascension, especially after everything that happened with Keith Lee, their tag team, and then the breakup, since that moment 2 years ago, it's been like this for Isaiah Swerve Scott. But then over the last 6 months, Gabe, and I'll bring you back in for this, especially when they put him opposite of Adam Page, it's been just like that. And I know, because I've talked to some guys in the AEW locker room, he's not necessarily everyone's favorite, but you can't deny the kid's skill set. He is phenomenal. He can talk on the microphone. He's well-versed in wrestling of many styles. He's very eloquent. He's well-spoken, highly intelligent dude. He's from Spokane, Washington. The man is also a highly successful musician. If you guys remember, he showed up on AEW about a year ago with the boss, Ricky Ross. I mean, Gabe, the boss, Ricky Ross, you're not just some punk and you show up to AEW with the boss, Ricky Ross. This man owns like a third of all the Wingstops in America. So you got to be doing something right. Oh, yeah, by the way, he sold millions and millions of records.
If you're not winning at life like that, I apologize for talking over your night out, but I got to get this off my chest.
I love it.
If you're not considering that winning at life, you're wrong.
Yeah, I agree.
You're just wrong, dude. Like, no. Do you hear
phenomenal.
how over this guy is in the building right now? I mean, just that.
Swerve's
And I agree.
house.
That's it. Everybody knows the cue. Like he's got that zeitgeist of what makes AEW crowds good is that they're like big indie events, and when everybody in an indie event is coordinated, it gets loud.
You know what I thought was funny, Gabe? I thought that for a little bit there, people were trying to discredit Swerve. And you know who they were giving the props to? They were saying that it was all about the song. And they were saying that it was all because of Prince Nana. And it all had to do with this. It was all this the whole time.
Yeah, the dancing fool, right?
I love
just
it.
Laugh.
Listen, I love Prince Nana.
Oh, no. I'm not disrespecting him. I think that's the thing. That's a testament to Nana because he got himself over just doing this. He's a manager, and look at how over he is. That's all he got to do.
My point is where people were making the assumption that the only reason that Swerve was getting over is because he had found a gimmick. And he did find a gimmick, a damn good gimmick. But guess what? The gimmick only follows you until you get in the ropes. And then when you get inside the squared circle, you were at a show this weekend. We're going to talk about that here briefly. The vibes change. The music goes away. The fanfare isn't as relevant in the early stages of a matchup. And Swerve has delivered from the music to the promos to what he's doing in the ring to taking losses and still like fight. Because that's my biggest pet peeve in wrestling. When guys don't know what to do after a loss. I'm like, dude, you just created a different avenue to tell a better and a different story. Like you literally have been blessed with a new canvas, and some people can't recover from a loss. Swerve has done that better than anybody. Remember, he didn't beat Keith Lee. He lost to Keith Lee. And one of these guys is relevant and at the top of the card, and the other guy's just there. And I love Keith Lee.
He lost his chance to Joe, but he still recovered.
He's back.
It's like how many dudes get the rematch and that they can't carry the ball?
Cody did it. That's another great example of someone who did it, but it's few. That's why we remember their Gabriel. We remember them because it's so few guys that get that second opportunity and make it count.
Absolutely.
I got to get your thoughts on Swerve, though. Like, just him in particular and his ascension. What in particular? Because with me, it's the promos that I really gravitate to because he feels grimy, he feels gritty. What is it to you about Swerve before we move on to the next topic?
It's how snappy he is in the ring. I only got to see that match against the Butcher, but just seeing like how vicious he is, like that look in his eye, you know he's ready to kill somebody. Like, and I don't know what it is about it that goes so hard, but I dig it. And it connects with me on a he about to fuck somebody up level.
Yeah.
Does that mean it, like
that's my vibe?
I'm sorry, I'm making myself laugh. I'm so white. Shame he could not get the chance to do his thing in front of big crowds. If Trips were running things back then, Swerve would still be in WWE. I absolutely agree because Hit Row is so, and no disrespect to the people who were involved, but think about how over they would have been if they were all like coordinated and Trips got to take it. Thank you, Maestro. And it's so fun to see him get over this organically because I've seen him start out so small. I don't know. Did you ever like mess with Lucha Underground back in the day, Night Owl? I'll take that as a no. Your mic's off, dog.
Bro, I'm insulted by the question. Come on, man. You know, Dario Cueto is one of my favorite heel managers of all time. You know, Prince Puma is one of my favorite character wrestlers of all time. I like him as Ricochet as well. Spoiler, but bro, him versus Johnny Mundo, that stuff with Vampiro and Penta. Are you kidding me, bro? To answer your question, yes, I effing love Lucha Underground, man. I still go back and watch it these days. I still go back and watch it.
So to see somebody like Swerve Strickland get over in such a niche indie crowd, because it is still Lucha, but he got over with a mask. He says, I can do lucha. And then where does he go from there? NXT. He says, I can do NXT. What you looking for? And then it's like he gets moved up to WWE, and we knew he could do something, but he got cut short. And then what did he do? He went to AEW, and he said, I can do AEW. And now he's just saying, I can do main event. That's where he's at right now. And I'm going to say it right now. I think, not even that, I don't even think. I want Swerve Strickland. I want AEW to be the house that Swerve Strickland built. And that's what I want out of 2024. But
Ooh, I love that. I love
put a period on it. I like Swerve Strickland. I like Swerve Strickland.
Yeah, and our guy, well, he's awesome. And our guy, Tyler Cooley, that will be joining us in the second hour as the featured guest of the evening, commenting that match, he saw it the other night, absolutely crazy. And I know you mentioned this before already. Spoiler, JM Housewright potentially lining up to be our guest towards the end of the month. He is an author, and he absolutely has the same passion and energy for professional wrestling that everybody that's a member of the WrestleTalk Podcast family as well. So more news to come on that, but I cannot wait. If we're able to secure that interview with JM, it's going to be a classic because we love all facets of professional wrestling. Whether you're a manager or a fan or an author, this is the place, baby. This is where we do business.
Absolutely, Night Owl. I just to be able to give a platform is so much fun for us because there's so many layers to wrestling. I think that we're able to have these conversations that we're able to get it to episode 500. I don't mean to gush over that, but like 500 episodes of anything. Like not even like even Raw has more than 500 episodes, but that's like how much we love wrestling as fans. So
yeah, I myself am somewhat obsessed, but we all got families and we all got stuff to do. But this week, even in my house, it's okay because it is WrestleMania week and it's basically Christmas week for professional wrestling fans. And I believe it was just last week that we were talking about people's WrestleMania tradition. So let me bring my man Carp on here real quick. Jeremy, you weren't here for this last week. Make sure you unmute. Don't make the same mistake I did. What is your WrestleMania tradition? Because I don't believe we had you on here for that question. I'd love to know kind of what you like to do for WrestleMania before
it's going to break my heart, man, because this is going to break my heart because it's a tradition my friends and I have had. They're family to me. They're bros to me. And since probably WrestleMania 23, we've all gotten together every WrestleMania, hung out, watched the show. We even do our own little projections and predictions on who wins each match. And, you know, even though we're all late 20s, some of us about to turn 30, we've kept it going. This year, unfortunately, things have come up where, you know, we might only be able to watch some of night 2 as a group. And it bums me out. I'm not mad at any of them, of course, because, you know, we all got stuff going on. It's life. But yes, my favorite WrestleMania tradition is getting together with my bros. And, you know, I love them all to death. And it's always just a blast. It really is. And it's crazy because we look at old pictures from like group pictures of us from when we started watching it early on. And to see it now, the fact that it's WrestleMania 40, the first WrestleMania I ever saw was WrestleMania 22. Like the first one as a wrestling fan. So the fact that we're at WrestleMania 40 absolutely blows my mind, guys. I don't know about you. Renee, unmute yourself.
You're muted again, dude.
Stop muting yourself.
You're worrying about Maestro. You got to worry about yourself, dog.
Yeah.
That's fair.
I can handle myself. I'm a good middle-class Jew.
Middle-class Jew. I love now. Nothing's better than when we roast ourselves. That's the best.
Time.
What happened?
Time on yourself.
We're at 60. We are at over 60.
Yeah, let's go. Gotta love it.
Thank you for checking this out, guys.
Well, here's what I wanted to say, Jeremy, as far as your tradition goes, hopefully at some point you guys can get that going again. Because watching in a crowd environment, there's really nothing like it. We used to do the watch parties, the WrestleTalk Podcast watch parties. We had to discontinue those here just a little while ago, but hopefully sometime in the near future we'll be able to do them again. It is different to be in the same room with a dozen or 24 other wrestling fans. It's like the energy in the room, bro. It is hard.
Well, it's because of them. Like, it's because of my friends, like my friends Evan and Blake and like, and the whole group, but mainly them, that I became a big wrestling fan. And because this was before I even knew some of my family used to go watch wrestling at the Chase. I remember my friend Evan and we had a sleepover at his place in 2005. And you know what's crazy? It was SmackDown. It was the very last SmackDown Eddie Guerrero was on when he beat Mr. Kennedy.
Damn, bro, you got to see a legend.
Yikes.
Yep. And it just blew my mind, like, looking back on that. And I've been, around that time period, and I've been hooked on wrestling ever since. So, it's like, and that's one of those things that I hold on to dearly. Now, thankfully, the guys and I will be together Saturday. It's the Battlehawks home opener.
Let's go.
That's what we're going to be. We're going to be together. We're just not going to be at WrestleMania. We're going to be downtown celebrating a Battlehawks victory on the way, baby. At least I hope.
Well, they got to do better. They got to do better than the Cards. I mean, let's just be real.
Yeah.
Oh
man.
Even the Royals are doing better than the Cards right now. I don't know what that's about. I don't even make sense.
Exactly. And hey, aside, happy WrestleMania/Universe Mania week. Absolutely. This is the biggest time of the year for wrestling fans. And look, that's no disrespect to Wrestle Kingdom, which to me is right up there in tier of quality. But I will say there's just, it's WrestleMania week. Let's face it.
Nothing beats Mania. No. I even in my cold, steel-hardened New Japan Pro Wrestling loving
steel-hardened.
Yeah.
But we have to get, before I go to the next one for you guys,
okay,
let's give a quick shout out very quickly to Howard Finkel, the late great Howard Finkel, for coming up with the name WrestleMania.
Like the Colossal Tussle, was it?
Yeah, because Vince McMahon wanted to originally name it the Colossal Tussle.
You can't
write
that
down. That's almost as bad as that list of names that they had for Stone Cold. Bear Von Frost.
Bear Von Frost, yeah.
No, I'm done. All right, I'm going out.
Calm down, or I'll bring Gilbert back, Harp. You would calm your ass down. So you weren't here for that, were you, Gabe?
I don't think.
Okay. So check this out. You want to unmute because I want to hear your reaction.
All right.
So we're doing a Wrestle Madness, which is this like massive trivia thing that we do. And it's not a trivia thing. It's kind of a bracket system, and we're voting who we think would win, like the best female wrestler of all time or whatever, right? So, and one of the Wrestle Madnesses that we did had a Gilbert. I think it was like best lightweight of all time or featherweight of all time.
I was on that show now that I remember.
Right. So then Carb.
It came down to Jericho and Jushin Thunder Liger, and now I want to switch my answer to Liger.
Maybe you're right. I think Jericho won that thing at the end. But long story short,
Gilbert.
Carp is railing on Gilbert before the show even starts. Like, he's like, who the hell put Gilbert on here? He's going on and on the whole entire show. I'm like, Carp, just lay off of Gilbert. I even shot him a message. I was like, I even told him, I said, bro, leave Gilbert alone. And he was like, no, I'm not leaving Gilbert alone. He's on a tirade this whole time. So Gilbert finally comes up. Joe Lance, bring it down a little bit. Okay, so we can get on to the next topic. Finally, Gilbert is on the brink of being eliminated because he made it past the first round.
Right.
Because Joe had like a silver ticket or a gold ticket to get whoever he wanted past the first round. And sure enough, finally the elimination of Gilbert comes. Carp is celebrating. He's happy. Get Bill Goldberg the hell out of here. And right as he's going through this soliloquy, the music hits, and who shows up on the screen? legit effing Gilbert himself shows up on the show, gives Jeremy the business, and then proceeds to be a total gentleman about it. He laughed. He had a good time. But it was probably the best setups we ever had here on WrestleTalk Podcast. And Jeremy Carp is such a great sport. He laughed. He giggled. We had a great time. But anytime that music plays, hit it for me one more time. Anytime that music plays, Jeremy Carp, that's it.
He hears it in his
That's the face. That's the face. All right, cut it. Every time he hears that music, my man can't sleep for a week. Oh, next topic. Let's go.
Right, we're good.
Let's go. All right. I'll go ahead and read this one, and it'll be yours to go first, my friend. With the latest attack of Contra, what does this spell for MLW going forward? I know you're going to give us a little backstory here, my man, Gabriel Arsene, because you've been all over this MLW thing. And it'll also give you an opportunity to talk about a little event that you participated in this past weekend. The floor is yours.
Oh, boy. So, for those who haven't caught it, at MLW War Chamber in St. Petersburg, Florida, yours truly got the exclusive coverage. And it's not looking very good. Contra has been a complete menace, and I don't know that there's much that they can do about it. Their numbers are ridiculous, and it seems that they're attacking Kojima, Second Gear Crew, Okamura. I don't know if their goal is the MLW World Heavyweight Championship, or I don't know if they actually have any like strategy to their method, but I'm genuinely worried for anybody's safety going forward. Like, to see that many people in a room with Contra walking in, Renee, is a very scary feeling. Sorry to play to that, but like.
Well, I genuinely only have one question about this. Like, how do you get stronger without Fatu? Like, how do you literally get, and maybe, hopefully I'm not misreading the storyline here, and I'll bring you back in for this gimmick, but they did lose Fatu, right, out of the faction, and then they just became stronger. Because if I'm not mistaken, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, if I'm not following along correctly, how do you lose the most powerful, intimidating guy in the entire company, maybe outside of Hammerstone, and get stronger? It don't make any freaking sense to me, bro.
The thing is you put it on paper, and it's like by all accounts, it doesn't make any sense. Like, when do you ever hear that in a faction specifically? Like, whenever they lose the key player, what happens to the faction? It falls apart. It crumbles. Like, off the top of your head, Night Owl, what are some factions that they lose the key? I mean, we just brought one up with Swerve Strickland, Hit Row. The essential piece fell apart, and it all came apart. But then Contra, they get rid of Fatu, and then they're murdering everybody. They have the pit fighter joining them right now, and I'm like scared for everybody's safety right now, because I don't know a whole lot about this dude, but just on debut alone, I'm already scared. I don't look forward to anybody getting hurt.
I'm trying to think of a faction that lost their leader that completely went down the tube.
Nexus.
People are gonna look at me crazy, but I don't know if Bullet Club's been the same since Adam Cole left, bro. I don't know if Jay White really did it for me, like the way, I don't know, bro. Don't hate me, but since Kenny and Adam, and I don't know, bro. I like Bullet Club. But the Tongans Tamatonga's not there anymore, bro. Bad luck. I don't know.
You're not taking away from the group.
I like
You're just
them.
saying that. Yeah, exactly. You feel like they need to be criticized because you want more out of them, because you know they do better. Yeah, no. I agree. Especially because I think War Dogs are doing fantastic. So I don't think the Bullet Club concept is dead. I think it's just their execution of it, because there's so many missing pieces. It's like
they don't have a clear-cut, credible leader like Adam Cole or an AJ Styles or a
David Finlay.
Finn Balor. I don't know if David Finley's that guy either. I don't know.
I think I like the War Dogs. I like the idea that they're the rebel group.
Well, I like him there. I don't know if I like him as the head of the entire Bullet Club, like what we had.
No, like that. I meant for like his wing.
Well, we don't. Do you think Jay White was the guy? I don't think Jay White was the guy. I think he did okay.
I don't think. Yeah, I agree. I think he did passable, but.
So to answer your question, I think that's the faction that comes to mind. I'm like, man, ever since they lost Adam Cole, and maybe I'm just not paying enough attention. If I'm wrong, somebody in the comment section, absolutely feel free to correct me. It wouldn't be the first time, but I can't seem to keep myself off of mute, for God's sakes. So feel free. I'm definitely not beyond reproach. But on that note, looking at the clock, I think we got time for another high spots question or two, baby. Let's go ahead and get into the next one. Okay, another MLW question. I love this. You want to pose it? I'll take it first.
Absolutely. So, Matt Riddle promises to become king of MLW. Does he have what it takes to overcome Kojima? So, Night Owl, what are you thinking? And I'm just gonna say this right now, and we can cut the camera to me before we answer the question. It's free on YouTube. Watch it. Him versus oh my God, Fujita. I'm butchering this right now. Watch it. It's free on YouTube. Anyways,
Fujita's my homie.
Fujita.
Yeah, Fujita's my homie that does the Back to the Future gimmick, right?
No, that's you're thinking of oh my goodness.
Kushida. Yeah, he's an NXT Fushida. Okay, my bad. Got the two.
Kushida. But Kosei Fujita, keep your eye on him. He's gonna be in Australia. He looks dope.
Okay, I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. I'm a little torn here, and I love Matt Riddle, and I know you got some stories to tell, so we'll jump to that here just a moment. And you can tell those stories here, so by all means. I look at guys like AJ Francis, I look at guys like Alex Kane, I look at guys like Fatu, I look at guys like Hammerstone, and who's the real big guy with the mask? His name is escaping me right now. Kruger, right? Kruger. I see a lot of other credible talent, and as much as I love Riddle, there are guys that have been paying their dues there for a long time that haven't necessarily. And I know Alex Kane has been champion. I'm not taking that, and we know who he lost it to. So for me, it just becomes one of those situations where, as hot as Riddle is right now, I would almost hate to see him become the king within the first 6 months to a year. I think that MLW is kind of that workhorse promotion where no matter how big your name is, you got to kind of come in and earn it. And for sure, the guy's got the physical talent, the promo ability, and all that. But I don't know, bro. I look at MLW as the Intercontinental Championship of wrestling. I feel like you can't bullshit to be there. You got to be a great in-ring competitor. There aren't any people that can't really freaking go there. And as great as Matt Riddle is, I think, and I love him. I'd love to see him as a champion, but I just think there's so many other guys that have paid those dues that it would almost be unfair to put him at the top of the card. And whether it goes against Kojima or not, my point is it may just be too soon, though he's got everything in the toolbox to justify being at the top of that card. I think that's what you mean about king of MLW, right? Like the top guy, he's the face of your company and all that, right?
Exactly. Well, He calls himself the king of bros, and I feel like he's doing a good job of that where he is with his titles, because he's holding 2 belts right now, which is like
pretty incredible.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of work, especially between Japan and here. Like, think about the jet lag. And he rolls with it.
Got to be everywhere all the time. Got to be everywhere all the time. Well, guess what? We do have just a brief moment for another sponsorship spot, which I'll be happy to take. Maestro, if you can take me into single screen and pull that up, por favor. Right after that, we're actually going to hit you guys with something very, very special that we do every week. We call it the Snippets of Truth segment. We spent about 10 minutes with my big brother, our resident chaplain, Perry Hartman. We spent about the first 5 to 7 minutes just talking about some truth, getting a lesson, talking a little wrestling, and then the last couple of minutes we close out with a little bit of a prayer. But before we get there, allow me to give credit to all of the wonderful sponsors of the WrestleTalk Podcast.
Paid for by the following.
Well, thank you very much. Royal Mills Transportation. Royal Mills Transportation, our boy DeJuan Mills, taking care of that for all your transportation needs in Kansas City. Noble Ben's Barber Lounge in Kansas City, Missouri. When you go there, let them know. Doesn't matter who you talk to, let them know the WrestleTalk Podcast sent you. Kincaid Arcade at the Oak Park Mall Interstate 70 Sports Media, which, by the way, for the first time ever, we are simultaneously broadcasting on all the WrestleTalk podcast platforms and I-70 Media sports media platforms, which has been absolutely huge. We welcome you guys if this is your first time here with us on the WrestleTalk podcast. Also, Little Popeye Designs, home of your WrestleTalk podcast tumbler. $20 with the logo. If you want to add your name, that's an extra $5 plus shipping. We'll have it to your house in just a couple of weeks. And of course, last but not least, the world's premier fantasy wrestling promotion. We are coming up on the biggest event of the year, Universe Mania 10. If you've ever done eFeds, we like to say that this is not your granddaddy's eFed. If you are interested, you can message any one of us on the show and we will point you in the right direction. That is the Fantasy Wrestling Worldwide chapter. That said, let's bring my guy back in. Bro, are you ready for snippets of truth? And is there anything we got to hit before we get to Big Daddy Pete?
Well, I just kind of want to answer this question. I think Riddle does have the tool set. I agree. But I do think he needs the definitive win to prove he's the contender. Because he's beaten people I think we all know he could beat. But what happens when he fights somebody that's goes the 15 minutes or that goes beyond the 15 minutes? Because he's got the New Japan TV title. He can work in those rules. But what happens when somebody goes the further distance for him? And then I have to ask you, Renee, who do you think he has to beat to prove himself to Kojima?
Bro, he's got to beat Alex. He's got to beat Hammerstone. And I say Alex Kane because it's Alexander Hammerstone, two Alexes. Or he's got to beat Fatu.
He already beat Fatu.
Okay, I missed that one.
Oh, there you go.
Okay, so he's got one of the three.
Yes, sir.
Does he need to beat two of the three?
I'm not saying I don't want to see that match.
Me either. Maybe it'll be in St. Petersburg.
Three-way dance?
Maybe. Okay. That would be beautiful. Wow.
Now we're
three-way.
Right. We gotta throw
so we promise you guys we have a super sick story right after Big Daddy P. So make sure you keep it locked in for Snippets of Truth. But if for whatever reason you don't, just know here in about 10 minutes, we're going to come back and Gabe is going to talk to us extensively for about 10 minutes before our guest about his visit to St. Petersburg for his very first live MLW event, who he got to hang out with, who he got to hang out with after the show, some of the media stuff he got done, some of the things he posted. We're going to go a little bit deeper into that. But before we do, we have a very, very special segment here on the WrestleTalk podcast that I've been criticized for in the past. Renee, what are you doing? This is wrestling. Why are you bringing faith into this thing or whatever? Well, once you guys get a chance to meet Big Daddy P, for our first-time viewers here, you'll understand exactly why we do it. Let's go ahead and cue up the music, ladies and gentlemen, because it's time for Big Daddy P.
What's up? What's up?
Que pasa, que pasa, que pasa, Big Daddy P. Welcome back to the show, brother.
How you doing?
We miss you, man. How you been?
Oh, man, I'm so excited. This is WrestleMania week. It's also about 8 days before my birthday, which always makes WrestleMania nice. It just blows my mind, man, that after 40 years of watching WrestleMania, after 40 years, I still get excited. So I'm just stoked, brother. How you guys doing?
Well, we're doing great, Daddy P. We're going to join you back on the screen here in just a moment. But we've been asking, we started last week. Let me ask you this question. WrestleMania traditions, what are they now and what were they back in the day since you have been watching since the very first WrestleMania?
Well, the first about 20, I didn't have gatherings or anything like that. So it took a while for all the traditions to kick in. But one for sure is that I always make sure that I have somebody over to hang with to enjoy it, so that they don't call me later and say, so what happened? Now it's anywhere between 4 to 8 people, depending on who comes to visit. But we always make sure we have some good snacks, some good drinks. And, it's just, and now with it being with them labeling Raw, WrestleMania Raw, and WrestleMania SmackDown, and WrestleMania NXT, and now we've got Stand and Deliver on Saturday. We've got the Hall of Fame on Friday. The whole week is basically gets kind of jacked up because of the excitement about all this buildup. I mean, there's been so much buildup, and they just, WWE just seems to get better and better and better. And I remember being concerned, what would WWE be without Vince? And I think it's better. We wouldn't be where we are today if it wasn't for him, but that is past and behind us. And now there's a whole new level. Matter of fact, I found myself getting caught up on the Roku channel recently for the WWE tryouts videos. And those have been just really cool to see how far they've come as far as in trying to recruit talent. Because, back in the days, if it didn't matter what college you went to, if you knew somebody, you could probably get in. But now the demand is so high that as recipients of these shows and this entertainment, I don't think wrestling has ever been better.
Well, that's great to hear, especially from someone that has been watching and been faithful to the sport for so long. Big Daddy, we are old.
No, I think I'm first of all, I'll be turning 53.
Lay it down nice.
I don't think Renee, you haven't even hit 45 yet, right?
Not 39.
See, so what do you know?
My back, bro. I know my back. That's what I know.
I've got pairs of shorts older than you.
Man, buy some new shorts, you bum.
That's pretty bad.
Buy some shorts, you bum.
No,
send your donations in.
Hey, my birthday is coming up, so
that's right. Share the cash now.
Some shorts.
Share the cash. All right, you know what I want to do, Big Daddy P, and we do have a tight window today, but I think we got enough time to bring up another high spots topic because we want to get your thoughts on it. Because not only are you a man of faith and our chaplain, you also got a head for wrestling. So, Carb, why don't you hit me with the randomizer, baby? I'm ready for another topic here tonight. All right, I'll go ahead and read this question. And Big Daddy P, since you're our guest, you get to go first. Is it just us, or is there a spark missing from the feud between, and I believe there's an overlay poster. There it is. Is it just us, or is there a spark missing from the feud between the current women's champion, Rhea Ripley, and the man, Becky Lynch? Big Daddy P, what do you say?
I don't think so. I think they've done a pretty good job in laying out what they're going to do, but ultimately, I just think that they pushed Rhea so fast that I can't imagine her keeping the title, especially since Becky Lynch just had a book out called "I Am the Man," and if you just released a book and you lose, well, your book's going to tank. So they pretty much gave us the answer to who's going to win, in my opinion. So no, I don't think there's a spark missing, but again, that's because keep in mind, again, they pushed Rhea so fast and so quickly. I think she's one of the fastest females to get as far as where she is now in the amount of time that she's been there. So I think they did a pretty good job.
Okay.
Other matches, like I'm not excited at all about Gunther and Sami Zayn. I think if there's been a spark missing, it's right there. But
okay,
again,
let me follow up your response with a question to that same question. So, do you not believe that Becky Lynch has gotten to a point where she is relevant, whether she doesn't have a title or not? Because
yeah.
So then would it really hurt the book if she lost to Rhea?
She won't.
She won't lose. Okay.
She won't.
You heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen.
Rhea's great, but in order for her to keep going, she's going to have to lose because unless she's going for some new record that I'm not familiar with, or because she really hasn't been injured. She's had a pretty good career.
That helps.
But I just don't know where you can go at that point. You know what I mean? Because years ago, wrestlers have been in wrestling.
Jade Cargill. That's where you go.
It's funny. I was thinking the same thing.
That's a whole nother thing, Jay. I have been extremely, extremely dissatisfied with how they've used her.
She's only been on TV one time. What are you talking? She's only had one match.
No, she's had
that.
No, but
Royal Rumble was her only match.
I know. I'm very.
We gotta let Gabe Chun in here.
And now they have her coming in a 6-man tag.
I'm too entertained.
I thought she should have been a heel from the beginning, but let's let Gabe jump in because Big Daddy P, you could go back here for an hour. Yeah, bro. Go ahead, Gabe. What do you got for us, buddy?
Well, I'm in the same boat as Big Daddy P. I don't think the spark is missing. I think Rhea has justification as a heel because the man socked the crap out of Dominic. And I just the difference is that I think Rhea should retain. I think Becky, I'm with Night Owl that I don't think she's at that point where she can take a loss. The fact that she lost the NXT championship the way that she did, it's like she didn't need that belt. She just did it to surprise us. And it's like she's just checking it off, checking
People
it
were
off.
Pissed she had it.
I wasn't, but yeah, you're not wrong. And it's like, but look what she did. She elevated somebody else. And
that was why they gave it to her, for that reason.
I don't think that Rhea, I don't know. I just want Rhea to win. I feel like I'm trying to make my words any more fancier than they actually are. I just want Rhea to win.
Are y'all ready to be educated? I'm about to drop my own snippets of truth. Okay.
Go ahead.
Already.
Gabe used the word heel. Rhea is not a heel.
Correct.
Bro.
You're not wrong. I don't know.
Those of us that should be booing for her are usually like this when she's out there. I'ma just be honest. There feels like there's a forced tension. It doesn't feel like a genuine beef. It feels like Becky's the mentor and Rhea is kind of the girl who learned under Becky, under the women's movement or whatever. And Rhea is doing what we see in the FWWC. She's not giving Becky her due. At least not in the way that I would like to see. I would love to see a dynamic where Becky's like, yeah, maybe nobody knows about this, but when you were NXT, you know who used to come down there and really put you on game, right? Oh, by the way, don't forget that me and 3 other women helped pave the way so that you could be main eventing this, that, and the other. I just don't think that they've been poignant enough in giving us the heel Rhea that we want to see, because she's still back there with Legado de Fantasma and Dominic and playing around. And that, I think that's the pain point. And people are going to hate me for this. But the Dominic thing is played. She cannot be as serious as a heel like she needs to be, like the way Damian Priest is when she's constantly tied to this comedy gimmick. And that's what Dominic Mysterio is. He's R-Truth. A very poor version of R-Truth, but R-Truth nonetheless. So for me, there's like a genuine disdain that's missing. It doesn't feel organic like it feels between Cody and Roman, for example. Like you can kind of feel like maybe there's some animosity there because Cody should have gotten this opportunity last year. We know about the broken shoulder and everything, right? So for me, ultimately it comes to we don't have a well-defined heel in this because Rhea's too likable and Becky's too likable. So that to me, not that it's not going to be a fantastic match or that they haven't told an awesome story. I can't get invested into it. The way you guys feel about Sammy and Gunther, that's how I feel about this match. As talented as these women are, it doesn't feel real to me. And there are some things going into this WrestleMania that feel like Jimmy and Jay, that feels kind of real. Like, we know it's not, but it feels like it is. And I don't get that feeling from these two women as talented as they are. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, you're good. I was trying to talk over you. I just wanted to say that I never said anything about Sammy and Gunther, only because it seems like they're setting up Chad Gable.
Drew's a heel. Thank you, Sonny.
You know what's funny? Sonny, you hit the nail on the head, because I wasn't thinking about it the way you were just mentioning it, Night Owl, but I wanted to throw it into a question. And Daddy P, you can answer off of this too if you want. What do you think needs to happen for them to kind of get that narrative? Or I guess, what narrative would you want to see them take in order to gauge your interest, Night Owl? Or,
Perry says he's already there. Are you asking me? You asking him?
Well, first of all,
I'm asking you.
Stop thinking about today, because they're a year ahead of us in story already. The only reason why Cody lost was so that The Rock could come back this year. I believe that with all my heart. Because if he would have won, The Rock would have had to come back, and it just wouldn't have made sense.
So then this brings me to the ultimate question. Do you guys think, you brought up Cody and I brought up Cody, do you think that they switched it because of the crowd reaction, or do you think they always wanted it to be what it was? And what I mean by that is, how Rock kind of was going to have that main event match against Roman. Do you think that the crowd forced? There's a lot of speculation about this still. Was it the crowd and the audience that forced a change, or do you think they were always going to pull the bait and switch on us? I'm curious.
Paul Heyman gave us the clue when he said we're only in the third inning.
Okay, so it was pre-orchestrated. What do you think, Gabe? Do you think the fans made them change it, or do you think it was only in the third inning?
I think WWE kind of they conspired to get the reaction. That is, I'm with Big Daddy P on this. I think there's a little bit that they knew. It's like, you remember Endgame? We're in the end game now. It's like Doctor Strange with the time stone.
I'm also going to make a prediction that every single Samoan that's attached to WWE will appear behind the bloodline. I think Saturday night, I think that they're all going to come. We're talking Alpha Junior, all of them. I think all these bloodline are going to come in to create this buildup for what's going to take place on Sunday.
Man, funny how this turned into a Cody Rock Roman thing, and we were talking about Rhea.
See, but that's not that. It plays into your point you're making. If they had something there, we'd have more to talk about. Like, Perry got his thoughts out, and then me and you were just spitballing.
Yeah, for real. Man, I love Sonny's thoughts, and I believe Sonny's going to be hosting here soon in the next couple of weeks. So if you guys love Sonny, make sure you always send him your regards, but he should be back hosting here within the next couple of weeks. So I'm looking at the clock, and I don't want to eat too much into Tyler Cooley's time. So, Big Daddy P, was there anything else pertaining to wrestling that you wanted to cover before we get into snippets and the prayer?
I don't know.
Anything else got your interest?
I just love this time of the year, man.
It's awesome.
Except, actually, I also, because it's also kind of emotional too for me, because of the fact that every WrestleMania, it always seems like something happens to set me off for the whole next year to keep watching. So I'm very excited about it. And I think, again, with breaking the record numbers that they keep breaking, there's no doubt in my mind that nobody will catch WWE. No, although AEW's their production is better, their stage setup is better, and Monet.
Yeah, she was all right on commentary last Wednesday. All right, one last one for you, Big Daddy P, just because I always love your thoughts. Do you see a potential MJF appearance after Mania? And if it's not then, how do you feel about the Devil in the WWE potentially?
He's ready, but you can't keep him chained up. And I think unless he's changed, he's gone as far as I think he can with AEW. So it would be great to see him in WWE. I just don't know. We like MJF because he says what we think. And I think he might have some limitations in WWE. So I would like to see him come to be in WWE, but I just don't know if he has the self-control that's attached to his character that's needed for MJF to be MJF.
And I could not agree anymore with that, Big Daddy P. I said it before. I think he'll thrive if he's allowed to do what he does. And now that they're going to Netflix, this may be the perfect time. That said, Big Daddy P, with over 50 people watching live right now, thank you guys so much, by the way, for being here. Like, share, comment. We've got a big 500 coming up for you guys, but tonight's show is just as special. Big Daddy P, hit us with those snippets, hit us with the prayer, and let's close this thing out for tonight.
Well, we just got done celebrating Easter, and I've had, as a believer, I've had over 22 years of Easters. And what made this one different was something that hit me at about 2:00 in the morning, Easter Sunday. And that was, out of all the religions in the world, our leader is the only one still alive. I just want you to think about that. Other religions, the prophets and their leaders, they're all dead. They died. But Christ is still very much alive. And I look forward to his return. As much as I love this world, I remember having aspirations as a young kid of being a rock star, and then growing older and coming to the realization that that wasn't going to happen. So then I thought, well, maybe I'll get into wrestling. And I found myself at now going to be 53, somewhat happy that I didn't achieve those two goals, because I get the privilege of being part of the best team, and that is Team Christ, who is not about money, who's not about religion, but all about other people. And we live in a time where people are wanting to give up every single day. And I don't want you to give up, because there is so much ahead of you that you don't realize. No matter how crazy the world looks, no matter how much chaos you think there is, don't you ever forget that God is very much in control, and he very much cares about your life. Matter of fact, a lot of people, and I've said this in the past, can remember John 3:16, but not 1 John 3:16, which the first part of 1 John 3:16 covers the fact that God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son, right? He paid the ultimate price, so we didn't have to. But 1 John 3:16, and the second part of it says, and we should lay our lives down for the brethren. And I'm coming to a point in my life where what I wanted to become is not the person that I become. And because of the results of the work that I've put in and how God has used me to encourage other people, like putting me on a wrestling podcast, which I never would have dreamed I would have ever been doing. But I also know that God uses us to encourage one another. See, we have a hard time, because the Bible's so old that to apply it today, some people are teaching that it's not relevant, but it's very much relevant. Matter of fact, he's the only thing that hasn't changed. So keep that in mind. Be encouraged. Know that the fact that you're awake and you're listening and hearing this right now, it's not an accident or a coincidence. God is ready to hear from us. The Lord loves us. He wants us to come to him when we're in trouble. He wants us to come to him with an attitude of gratitude and thanksgiving for all the wonderful things we do have. It's hard to be content today because the world is teaching us that we shouldn't be content. We don't need God. We can get everything we want on our own, and that's a true lie. And I think if you're struggling, if you're battling between trusting him and not trusting him, I just want to encourage you today to trust him. I don't care if it's a financial situation, a relationship, an injury, whatever it might be that you're going through, do not lose hope, because his promises will never fail. He says, I will never leave you. I will never forsake you. It doesn't mean you're going to have $1 billion and you're going to be the next Jeff Bezos. You might end up being broke for the next 6 months to 5 years, but just trust that he knows what he's doing, because he is faithful. He will always be faithful. And there will never be a time that he's not. For those of you that haven't put your trust in him, when I go to pray right now, I just want you to think about some of the things I've said. And then when you have an opportunity to give him a try, don't let it go by, because I promise you, he is faithful. Father God, I thank you so much for WrestleTalk. I thank you for this time together that you've continued to bring to us each and every week. Father, I thank you so much that we, at a time right now, can encourage one another. There's so much hate and so much division and so much discouragement, that to come to the point to realize that we're being used by you as co-workers with you as you continue to build your church. You promise us that the gates of hell will never prevail against the church. That means these promises we get to stand on, knowing just how faithful you are. I thank you for your love and for your encouragement that you continue to provide for me each and every day, not only through the teaching of your word, but through the encouragement of friends. Father, I thank you that as this birthday comes in, that people will on social media begin to pour in and to be thankful. I remember last week I put a post that said, what are you thankful for? And I wasn't expecting it, but a lot of the responses were people saying, I'm thankful for you because you cared enough to care for us. And it's very humbling, Father, to recognize that you've used me to be an encouragement to so many. And I might not have become the rock star that I wanted to become, and I maybe didn't become the pro wrestling person that I wanted to become, but the man that you've made me and the people that you brought in front of my life, I thank you for them. And I pray that you continue to encourage and strengthen them, especially those that are trying to find truth in a world filled with such misinformation and lies. Thank you for opening every door that needs to be open, close every door that needs to be closed. And most importantly, I pray that they would open their eyes, that you would open their eyes to the truth about all the goodness and grace and the free gift of eternal life that we have available to us. The Bible says these things have been written that by believing that Jesus is the Christ, that we would have eternal life. And so I pray for those right now, Father, who haven't trusted in you today. You don't seek perfection. You just seek obedience. I thank you so much, and I love you, and I ask these things in Christ's name. Amen. Thank you, guys. You're muted, baby.
Yeah, you're muted.
Thank you, Big Daddy.
That's 3.
Appreciate it.
And hey, based upon this new Gabriel, man, what you did going to this event and now WrestleTalk live at these events, I think this is a huge, huge way for WrestleTalk to not only get their name out, but I'm also praying, and I have been working really hard for this 500th episode. I am like, really, I'm just telling you, I am doing everything in my power to try and bring some special guests for this special event. So we're not going to lose hope. On your own prayer time, pray that the seeds that I've planted, that these will turn into a plant. So on the 500th episode, we get to have some special guests, because in the end, guys, it is God who made this opportunity happen. And he continues to build it, and he continues to make it grow. Why? Because he knows how much we love wrestling. And don't forget, there are people in the Bible who wrestle with God. I wrestle with him every day. So don't give up. I love you guys. Keep going. Don't stop. And I really look forward to next week, God willing, when we'll be through WrestleMania season. It comes so quick, and yet next thing you know, it'll be over. Cody maybe didn't finish his story.
Wolf.
Can I share something with you, Big Daddy P, before you go?
Yep.
As much as I screwed up tonight, you can't mute the truth. And number 2, I avoided watching Passion of the Christ since it came out, because when it comes to certain things, I'm a real big softy, and other things I'm pretty mean and rough. For those that are in business with me, you know how I am. Perfection is what we strive for, right? But I watched it, and bro, I cried like a baby.
Dude, to put that visually, and remember, he was tortured a lot more than what they showed. I mean, the Bible says he was unrecognizable. If that in itself,
I bring it up for this reason, so that we can get to Tyler Cooley. The sacrifices that we don't know about that you've made to be here for us for so many of these 476, and it hasn't been all of them, doesn't have to be. I just want to thank you for that, because you're a giving caregiver. You're a man of truth, and we're proud to have you as our resident champion, bro. We love you. Thank you. Thank you for what you do, brother. Thank you and your wonderful wife. Thank you.
the best.
Yeah.
Fox, she is the best. She's like a Jewish fine wine. She gets better with age. The more I know her,
you hear that, Carp? Yeah, like a Jewish fine wine. Love you, Big Daddy. Peace.
Until next time.
Adios.
See you later.
All right. Jeremy, I brought you in just because I know that people always have these questions. I'm more Christian. You're more Judeo, but it doesn't matter, bro. Wrestling and faith brings us together. And if it wasn't for him, we wouldn't have 67 people locked in live right now. This crossover between I-70 Sports Media and WrestleTalk Podcast is probably one of the most extraordinary things that we've ever done. So I want to thank you for that and for being a good sport. Because even though Jeremy helped make this happen tonight, we still roasted the shit out of him over Goldberg. Because that's what we do here. It doesn't matter. It's never good enough. That's just how we roll. But it's a brotherhood here, bro. That's how we roll.
He's never going to let you live that down, dude.
No, absolutely not. Absolutely
I can only hope I die before he does, and then I won't have to deal with it.
Well,
I'm older than you. I'm going first.
I can't blame him, though, because, like, I called out Drew Chandler, and he was like, I hate to disappoint you guys. Roman's going to win at Mania. And I'm like, if he doesn't, I'm going to hassle you for this.
Well, boys, all right. You know.
It's time. It's time. By the way, we're going to get into MLW stuff, too, by the way. We're going to get into that when Tyler's here, because we got to let Gabe get his shit in. But go ahead, Maestro. It's on you, baby.
All right. Let me tell you all something. This guy he's got a charm to him. And I know I'll probably get a lot of shit for it, but that's fine. I've been getting shit for 28, almost 29 years, and it's probably going to keep going until the damn 6 feet under. And after that, I don't give a damn. This guy and I get along. And that's enough for me. And he's unfiltered. He's uncensored. He definitely makes his opinions felt. And sometimes they're misinterpreted. And we're going to delve right into all that tonight with the Night Owl and Gabriel alongside this dear friend of mine. Ladies and gentlemen, I have the absolute pleasure of welcoming you to the WrestleTalk Podcast, our featured guest for the evening, the one, the only, Tyler Cooley.
Thumbs up for the camera. 2 thumbs up for the camera. Big old smile.
Already out of the gate. Welcome to the show, Tyler. Oh my God.
Thank you. Thank you guys for giving me this opportunity. How are you guys doing?
Oh man, we're doing great. Facebook user, you gotta confirm yourself.
Yeah, we want to know who you are, but thank you for giving Tyler the shout out. And I would have, and I love Jeremy's intro. There's just one thing I would have done slightly different. I would have said Tyler Cooley. Yeah, man. Because it goes with the thumbs up. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Not everybody can do the Mariah Carey and get it, up that high pause. So I had to hit you with that. Welcome to the show, bro. Welcome, and thank you for being patient.
No problem. Shout out to the Maestro for that awesome introduction, by the way. Thank you.
Did a good job. I love to hear that. Maestro, you got your props, baby. I know that's what you're here for. He did do an outstanding job, and I'll tell you what, I keep giving Jeremy, the Maestro, his props. Like you, Tyler, a guy who has been doing the work, paying his dues, making his bones in the Midwest through his social media platform, going to shows, doing commentary for multiple promotions, traveling and doing different things to get the word out. And clearly that's something that you're an expert in. So I'm going to take the first question, then we'll go over to Gabe. For me, what you do is also somewhat thankless because you're not beyond criticism, but you seem to just be obsessed with promoting wrestling. So I wonder, where does that surge and that motivation come from, bro? Like, what makes you not only want to put the spotlight on yourself, because we all like a little spotlight, let's be honest, but most of your page is highlighting other people's shit. And I respect that. I love that because it could be all about you, but it's not. What makes you want to expose in a positive light all these different promotions that you work with? I know that's a loaded question, but we'll give you the floor and try to answer it.
Right, yeah, and I appreciate it. It's a good question. I mean, there's just so many promotions, not only around the area, but just around the world. And I mean, they put on some incredible shows. They have some beyond incredible talent. And I mean, if you take the time to go to these shows and you really pay attention to these talents that they continue to bring in, I mean, these shows are full of so many people that have a ton of potential and a ton of charisma. And I mean, I see stars of the future in a lot of these people. I really do. And so, I mean, they deserve to be promoted as much as possible. They deserve to get their name out there, you know? And like I said, including the promotions. I mean, the promotions are doing an incredible job. There's just so many.
Well, I think there's no question about it. And I'll tell you what, that's one of the things that keeps me kind of locked in here in the area. I see how hard the promoters are trying to get the word about what they're doing. And more importantly, I've realized, because a lot of people have things to say about promoters and how they operate. Like, most of these promoters just want to see their friends win. They want to see the young guys have an opportunity to work. Like here in the Kansas City area, which is a lot smaller than St. Louis when it comes to representation of promotions, I always notice that everyone's kind of genuinely happy for the other guys, you know, because in many cases, their guys are getting to work these shows. Now, have there been short-sighted people that are like, oh, bro, you shouldn't work over there. You're one of our guys. Why would you go over there? And there's always going to be that bullshit. But honestly, 99% of it is like, oh, bro, it's so dope. So dope to see my man who was working at XYZ promotion. Now he's doing that and he's doing this. Like, you can't really beat that. You know what I mean? And the peak, you know, it speaks for itself. Look at my man, Justin. He's saying it right here, bro. Like, people speaks for themselves, though. No one's above criticism. I'm sure you've dealt with that to a certain point. But in an attempt to not take this whole thing over, Gabe, sir, jump on in. I want you to have your opportunity to ask some questions as well, because Tyler being on the show is something I'm very, very excited about.
Well, Tyler, I kind of want to throw you a softball question just because I'm still new to meeting you, but it's a pleasure to have you on the show. So, you know, obviously we try to avoid the obvious questions of doom. Who's your favorite wrestler? But I'd like to throw a little bit of a curveball, only because, you know, you're involved, you know, promoting, announcing, you know, commentary. I want to ask, who are your biggest inspirations as far as promoters, you know, on screen, like figures or anything like that, or especially announcers? Who would you say are your favorite?
Wow, that's a good question. That is a good question. So, I mean, if we're talking about kind of like, you know, like WWE, AEW, so people, the first few people that would come to my mind are people like Howard Finkel, Jimmy Hart, gosh, I can't, that's such a good, there's just so many, Paul Bearer, Percy Pringle, you know, gosh, there's just so many people that have paved the way and have done such an amazing job. And I really do take the time to go back and really study those people, because it takes a lot of time, it takes a lot of effort, and like you said, promoting too. I mean, being a promoter is not easy, so I definitely give a lot of props to anybody and everybody out there who's a promoter. But I mean, those are probably like 3 or 4 names that would pop up. And I mean, you mentioned Justin Savage earlier. Probably one of my mentors. I mean, I have so many. Sorry about the audio. Can you guys hear me a little bit better now? Can you guys hear me a little bit better?
I would say, Tyler, I think the mic that's on is on your device. So if you lean in, we'll be perfect. Yep. I'll just bring the camera up slightly, maybe about 3 degrees. Yep. There you go. Just lean in. You should be cool. We're live. Hey, listen.
All right, let's try that. Are we good now?
Yeah.
Yep,
Don't ever apologize for that, bro. We're live. Nobody does this shit live like us. So if you got to adjust. We just want it to sound clear. Don't even worry about it.
Yeah, no,
Mhm.
I appreciate it. Yeah.
Bobby the Brain. That's a good one.
That is a good one. Yeah.
I mean, I appreciate all the answers you gave. A lot of them are like, yeah, I'm honestly the Mount Rushmore of their individual categories. I mean, so, and I like that you pride yourself on the older stuff, who I hope we get to talk about this.
Yeah,
But,
we got to talk about that.
But okay. But I just want to say that I like your older answers. Like especially because Renee, he likes to take pride in the fact that I like the older stuff thanks to my
Yes.
uncle.
I like my young dudes that respect the old school. Any of my young homies,
bro.
you gotta respect the old school. Because I respect the young. I'm not the dude out here knocking the new music or knocking the new style. I got my hoodie, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm with the new style, but you gotta respect the old too, because we would have never got here, in my opinion. That's just me.
Always respect the OGs. That's it.
Hashtag old guy. Carb, what the hell are you doing? There he is. Look at this guy. Uh-oh, what? Audio, Poppy.
Muted.
No, I don't think he's muted, but his audio's down.
There we go. We're good now. Okay. Tyler sent me something.
Okay.
And it's something I need to address to everybody that's tuning in. And Tyler, we're going to need your background story on this. But there are some pictures that the J Carp Research Center has obtained. Her sources.
Oh,
and
no.
Carp's got his sources.
I got my sources here at I-70. I'm going to show these to everybody. And Tyler, I'm going to need to get some clarity on some of these.
Oh, no.
Oh, no. Is that PYT? Please tell me it's not.
Oh, so.
Now, Tyler.
Oh, Damian Blade.
We need to know exactly.
That was the Monster Savage.
Oh, yeah.
What exactly?
Oh my gosh, look at Sav.
What exactly? How did this all come about? You made a Rumble appearance? It has been reported to me that you were in a Rumble, in a Battle Royal.
What the hell were you doing in there, bro?
Now, you've done ring announcing, you've done announcing, you've done commentary, you do podcasting. Now, what made you think of any part down the line that getting in the ring with guys like Damian Blade would be a good idea?
Yeah, you're more of an announcer. He's an inspiration. Yeah, I think we all agree you shouldn't be in the ring, dog. Straight up.
So give me the background on this.
I heard it was a Royal Rumble for the IWA Productions Heavyweight Championship, right? And I love gold. I love gold. So I managed to find my way in the match at number 26, and unfortunately I did not win, but it was quite the experience. It was. I think I was able to take a few people out with my feet during that airplane spin, so that was pretty fun.
And I
don't think that answers the question. What the hell were you thinking? What were you thinking?
They thought they could get some eliminations, Night Owl. I mean, what do you want them to
gold.
say?
He wants that money.
Can you blame
I'm gonna make this
an opportunity. 26. That's a good number.
He doesn't have enough glasses. He needs more glasses.
Oh, really?
I was gonna say, Tyler, how many matches have you had in professional wrestling?
Here we go with this shit.
That was my first.
That was your first?
That's
okay,
amazing.
well, I think if there's before I send it over to congratulations. That is genuinely,
that was awesome.
I am genuinely congratulations. Everybody's got to start at one somehow,
sick.
some way. And what better way to make an impact in a Royal Rumble? Now, I will say, I think the picture of the event for me has to be this. Where he's like, man, I don't want no part of any of this. I'm going to just find my way back to the locker room.
The Monster Savage, he said you didn't last very long.
Oh, I wonder why. If you wouldn't have... I was trying to help him, all right? I was trying to help him eliminate Atlas Armstrong. We were going to get Atlas Armstrong over that top rope, and he picks me up, and he scared the crap out of me. And don't even get me started on Pretty Pink Barbie.
I hope you never go to jail, Tyler. I'm going to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to leave the rest up to you unless we get more breaking news from sources back here.
It was great.
So Jeremy Karp, he may not have said this, but over at I-70 Sports Media, he's got his own investigation department. They're called THEY. They. That's where he got his information. They said. Right. Just so you know, he's got his own investigative branch. So, by the way, shout out to everybody tuning in live. I think we're sitting at a cool 75 live on the stream right now. Again, I got merch I'm trying to give away. I got a Bootio's lunchbox. I got a book. I got an unopened action figure. So if you guys are watching, I'm taking a picture. You say cheese. Cheese, everybody. Cheese. I love to give stuff away, just like I love to have tremendous guests like Tyler Cooley here tonight. For those that don't know, you do reside predominantly in the St. Louis and Southern Illinois area. Talk to us about some of the promotions that you've been affiliated with, bro. I know you were in that Royal Rumble for IWE, which is amazing. Who else are you working with? I know you got your own podcast and you promote them as well. Talk to us a little bit about kind of how you're navigating the waters of professional wrestling in the Midwest right now, man.
Yeah, so originally I got my start with Illinois Elite Wrestling. They got in touch with me because they needed a ring announcer for one of their shows. They needed a fill-in, and I was available to do it. So I came in and I helped them out. And it was after the show, maybe a few days later, the Illinois Elite Wrestling Board of Directors got in touch with me and asked me if I could come in for a meeting with them along with the ring announcer at the time, Guido. And we had a small meeting. They asked Guido if he could step out for a second, and they left me in. And it was that day that we made a unanimous decision that I was the new permanent ring announcer for Illinois Elite Wrestling. And so ever since then, I think I've done about 4 or 5 shows for them. And I also do commentary for New Genesis Wrestling, which is in Mascoutah. And IEW, by the way, they do their shows in Granite City. And yeah, right there, a huge shout out to New Genesis Wrestling. They actually have a show coming up, which we can probably get into a little bit later, but that's Saturday, April 20th, Battle Lines. And then, of course, like we mentioned, I actually just recently started at IWA Productions. They had me last month at their last show as their guest ring announcer. And on top of making my Rumble match appearance over the weekend, I also did commentary for them. So,
jack of all trades. I like it.
Absolutely. And you also mentioned the podcast too. Definitely, we got a lot of exciting things planned for that. I don't think we've announced our next set of guests just yet, but we should be announcing that soon. So keep your eyes open. But yeah, lots of exciting stuff happening and lots of exciting stuff planned. And I'm just blessed and I'm honored. I really am, because it's just been a dream come true ever since I was a kid. I mean, I never thought I'd actually be doing it this early on. You know what I mean?
All right, we got people asking you for rides. Apparently, you're an Uber, so you do everything in wrestling. You Uber, you ring it out, you do commentary. I'm sure Jamie, the puppet's going to want to come along as well, so just make room. And we can talk about that later too, though. I'll give you an out. Yeah, we'll just leave that one alone. Okay, that's fine. All right, moving along. Go ahead.
Shout out to him. I do have a lot of love and respect for the dude, as much, as he confuses the crap out of me sometimes. I love him.
I'm gonna be totally transparent. Like the people at the wrestling shows that other people try to stay away from, grandma and these people, bro, like these people embrace me. And it's so weird the connection that I have. Like there's a dude here, please don't laugh, you're going to anyway, that people call Broken Ron Jeremy. That goes to the local professional wrestling shows. You guys may not get that reference. Please don't Google it. He looks fake. I knew somebody was going to get at it. Expected to be Carp. Anyway, he's got some disabilities and stuff, and I know these are a segment of people that most folks just like walk by and pretend like they're not there. So see, he knows Broken Ron Jeremy. People know, okay? My point is that I always go out of my way to show those folks love. I think our handicapped folks are really the victims of our society. Not everybody else likes to pretend like they're a victim. So always go out of my way to show love to anybody who's handicapped. If you park in a handicapped spot, to me, you're like lower than trash. Any of that kind of thing. So I appreciate you, Tyler, because we've had a lot of people brush off AJ and treat him like he's silly. And he's a little silly, but he's also fam. And we love his ass for that. So thank you for doing that. That means a lot to me.
Yeah, no problem.
Well, Gabe, I've got some more kind of pressing questions that I need to get to, but I want you to jump in first because I want you to make sure you get your opportunity, man. I want to keep being selfish here.
Nah, you're good, man. Well, I have to ask if I can throw it back to what my weekend consisted of. Tyler Cooley, have you seen MLW recently?
I have.
Yes. Pass the vibe check, dude.
We have a treat for you, Tyler. Hey, we got a treat. So with your permission, Gabe's got an awesome story to tell about his MLW weekend. And because I know you're a fan, because we watch your timeline and stuff, we do our research here. It's not just they, by the way, Carp. We do our point is, he's got a great story to share. Are you cool with him sharing it while you're live here on the air? Because I think you'll get a kick out of it.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Cool, Gabe. I got a video to lead into your story. Can I play it? I've been waiting for this.
Please.
Okay. I'm not sure if I'll be able to play it with sound, guys. I will certainly try my best. Point being, we're going to go ahead and play the video no matter what. Okay, so for the sake of time, there it is. And let's hit play.
I had so much
Sammy
fun.
Callahan, right?
Yep. That is
Cage match.
Yep. And then Akira, the
Talk
Death
us through
Fighter.
it, baby.
Oh my God. Ricky Shane Pace attacking him, the calling. They just jumped him before his match. They had the advantage in the War Chamber, and it just fell apart really quick. You can see the personnel there. I was right there. Like, think about how close this is. This lady, I love her. She had an Akira sign. She was chanting her head off. I loved that shot. Cannonball, scariest dude I've ever seen when it comes to pro wrestling. Good Lord. And as you can see, he just put Akira through a table. There was so much happening. I have to spend money. And then
the legend,
the legend himself,
freaking Raven.
I'm so glad I got that shot with the laser beam. And then just look at that. It was... I'm trying to do the play-by-play here, Night Owl, and as you can see, there's a lot to talk about. And this is just one match.
Damian Blade was there? What the hell? No, I'm just playing. Yeah, he was down there too. Go ahead, keep going.
And so just the match devolved into this huge, epic war. I mean, there was a group of people chanting "door" at one point because, as you can see, there's a lot of strewn doors after this match. This was. Yes. And then just this perfect shot. I was so happy I got this in the moment, spilling into everybody. And as you can see, it's looping back around. Yeah, and it just, MLW War Chamber. I took the opportunity to message a couple people, and I'll be sure to end here quickly, Tyler, so we can go through it. But I'd like to take the chance now that we have so many people here. Thank you so much for your support, because I'm still new to this. I'm very much like the young lion here in the FWWC, in the WrestleTalk podcast. And I feel like this opportunity for MLW makes me feel like I'm proving myself, that it's more than just a fascination as a fan. It's a passion that I love wrestling, and that thanks to everybody out there, I'm able to do something like this, that I'm able to have guests like Tyler Cooley. Thanks again for being on the show, man. You're an absolute delight. And to be able to watch MLW live, worth the watch. Tell the WrestleTalk podcast, send you absolutely hashtag Let's Talk Wrestling. You can find it on Fight TV, guys. Just please watch it. But Tyler, your thoughts on War Chamber? I don't know if you were able to catch it, but
that ending. I mean, I was actually just watching the video earlier because I mean I've watched it like maybe 3 or 4 different times, and the part that really got me was the ending whenever all hell broke loose. I mean, as soon as I saw that fireball, I was just like that was probably the clearest fireball that I have ever seen. Like,
well, my man, hey, Tyler, my man, he's being a little modest, okay? So he's been with us for less than 6 months. He got the social media, he got the pass from, your old boy, the Godfather here, and Skywalker. We made that happen. So less than 6 months of hosting WrestleTalk, we got media passes, and my man, he wasn't on the front row, bro. What's in front of the front row? Is it just the row?
It's like a barricade.
Yeah, whatever. So my man, bro, he was in the media section marking out, bro. So this was one of those, like, when you went to the Hall of Fame and you were looking at these guys that you've been thinking about and watching since you were a little kid. Like, he had that moment just this past weekend. So we wanted to share it while you were here, because I know that's how you feel every time you go to an event, man. We're just like so excited and happy for him, but it's also huge for WrestleTalk too.
Absolutely. That's the fact that, like he's saying, the fact that you got to be there and I mean, just capture these moments and just witness such an insane event. I mean, no problem, AJ. No problem. I mean, that's incredible. It really is. It's incredible.
Yeah, no doubt, Gabe. I know you got more to tell, bro. So just keep going.
Oh boy,
because you got that clip, but there's more, Tyler.
Do we? Okay, so should we just get into the meat and potatoes night out?
Yeah, and then we got to show that one picture.
We gotta find.
Yeah, we'll find that.
So Tyler Cooley, if I'm okay to call you your full name for this story. Donde estoy? Thank you so much for being on the show tonight, man.
Donde's friend Tyler. Donde is so happy for you. Oh, Donde, it's so good to see you.
Donde, welcome.
He rarely pops on social media anymore, but the past few podcasts.
Oh. Since we're getting all mushy, Gabe did send me a message earlier. You're muted, so that's why I'm talking. And he says, I can't thank you enough, bro. I genuinely feel like I'm a part of wrestling. I was like, aw. It's beautiful. Bro, it's corny, but it's beautiful, bro. That's what this shit is about, bro.
Kanika Man is coming out, and people need to understand that wrestling needs more manly tears, okay? I'm just saying.
I was crying this weekend. I just admitted it earlier, so.
Yeah. But we got to talk about the story. I like to call this the Matt Riddle story. So, as you know, Matt Riddle's been on a tear recently. I had just catched MLW Kings of Coliseums. That's where he fought Jacob Fatu, and sort of put himself on MLW's notice, won the NJPW TV title off of Tanahashi. He's been crushing it right now. I'm following him on Instagram. And so your boy likes to smoke every now and then. I'm just going to be transparent. It's 2024.
It's legal in most states.
Exactly. So we're good. So I made the promise that I would not leave MLW War Chamber unless I got the opportunity to smoke with Matt Riddle. And
yeah,
I'm gonna get in trouble for this, dog. Can we play the Final Fantasy theme, the victory theme? I know
victory, we can.
Yeah, please. This is a personal comment.
Well, we got one more.
Very impressive.
Well, Corey Graves thinks that's very impressive. I love it. Way to go.
That is worth more than my Warrior Shirt Championship. I'm sorry to say it like that, bro.
Yeah. So we saved this story just for you, Tyler, because usually our guests are tasked with coming in and, your job is to tell some cool stories. So people are like, oh, I want to follow this Tyler kid. But, bro, you my guy. So we wanted to save that story for when you were here because that shit was epic. Do I need to show it again?
Please.
Do I need to show it one more time?
I'm proud of this photo.
I'm going to show
this photo.
Oh, bro, this show is wild. I love it here.
This show gets it starts to devolve when it's just me and you, Neto.
Yo, I just really like the drum roll. I thought we were going to lean into that thing, and then it switched back to it's fine. It's fine. Tyler, what do you think about these experiences? Like, you've been in the business. Obviously, you're not that old, so you couldn't have been in the business that long. Like, every time you get to do something new, bro, does it like give you that same feeling that you see that Gabe is sharing with us now? Do you still get that vibe, man?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like I can only imagine what was running through your head whenever you got to capture that moment and just scratch that moment off your bucket list. Because I have a list of so many wrestlers that I want to smoke with, and Matt Riddle is one of them. So the fact that I just got to see that, dude, that's fucking dope. That is fucking dope.
Yeah.
I'm cool in Tyler Cooley's book. Let us see.
Yeah. No, it's Cooley. Remember, you gotta remember that.
But
Fuck you, bullshit!
Gotta sound it out.
I think somebody needs to pull the peace pipe away from Carp. He's getting out of hand with these drops now. I see him back there, buddy. Yeah, go ahead, Tyler.
Because I'm sure you've been watching Matt Riddle for a while. So it like you said, a bucket list item. For me, the biggest one was Victoria. That was the biggest one.
I was going to say, I saw that photo in the background. I'm glad you could bring it up, Fit. That was going to be my next question.
I was just as curious about that pillow. Is that your pillow back there, bro?
Oh, yes, it is.
Yo, when people say Tyler Cooley eats shit and sleeps wrestling, it's real. He real. Literally, I'm sure his toilet
every day
cover
with a box of Bootios.
There's no question, bro.
Somewhere I gotta find it, but I got a box somewhere from a few years ago.
So tell us about that Victoria story. What is she? Go ahead, Gabe. Sorry.
No, I was just gonna say if you could just fill us in on what was it like meeting Victoria?
Yes.
In that photo, like did you have to pay for that? Was that custom?
Oh yeah, so this was actually made by another local wrestler. Dennis McCaws made this for me. It did cost some money, but
it's handmade, bro. It's handmade.
Yeah. I always encourage people. It's very worth it because this is literally detail for detail right here. From the title to the necklace. To the gear she's wearing, the spider.
That was the spider.
That shit looks so hard, dog.
This is just, but she is probably one of the sweetest people you'll ever meet. She talked to me for a good majority of the night. There were a few times that we actually stepped outside together. Didn't necessarily really smoke together, but we were hitting our vapes and chatting, and it was pretty nice. Just to kind of like you with Matt Riddle. Just to be watching her and idolizing her for as long as I have been, and then just to create this moment. This has always been my favorite, my most favorite.
That's awesome.
Probably next to Jimmy Hart.
That's fair. That's fair. You are trying to be an announcer, and a manager.
I got a quick Jimmy Hart story. So. I went to Cauliflower Alley Club. Shout out to Cauliflower Alley Club. If you love and support professional wrestling, there's no better place to donate your $20. It's $20 a year, and it all goes to help wrestlers cover medical bills and different things like that when they can't take care of themselves in some cases. So I was hanging out and went to the merch area and was, Rock and Roll Express and this person, that person all over the place. And I get to a table and it's Jimmy Hart's table, but Jimmy Hart's not there. You know who's sitting there? The Cowboy Jason Jones. I'm like, Jason Jones? And I have video of this. She said, what the hell are you doing here? He's like, oh, Jimmy Hart left me in charge. Clearly, if Jimmy Hart's going to leave somebody in charge, it's going to be good old Space Cowboy, the hardest working man, professional wrestler. You know the gimmick, Tyler. Everybody knows about this guy in the Midwest, right? So immediately, Jimmy Hart comes around the corner, and he starts looking at Jason Jones. He says, what the hell are you doing in my chair, man? You better get out of here. Jimmy's got the megaphone? He's got the megaphone. He's threatening Jason Jones. Jason Jones takes off. I was like, bro, I thought you said. He's like, bye, I got to go. Bob. I think he was trying to get some money off Jimmy, if you ask me. Don't ever trust the Space Cowboy, Jason Jones. By the way, his promotion is phenomenal. They're based out of Arkansas. They're wonderful. They also run up in St. Joe, Missouri. Midwest, something I don't want to misstate their promotion's name, but they do a great job. Mid-States, something wrestling. I'm going to get that right. Mid-States Wrestling. Mid-States. It's Mid-States, yes. So Jason Jones, stop trying to get over on Jimmy Hart, but I did get to meet Jimmy Hart, and he almost beat the crap out of you with the megaphone. So that's my Jimmy Hart story. It was awesome. And if you guys ever get a chance to go to CAC out in Las Vegas, do that. Gabe, back to you.
Well, Tyler, I guess we can continue. If you want to throw it back to MLW real quick, I mean, are you cool with that?
Yeah, that's fine.
I'm ready to talk about it because I'm still hyped off of the show, dude. As you can see, I got to meet Matt Riddle. But what did you think of the pit fighter returning? Quan coming out with Contra. I mean, he had the blue mist in the second gear crew's face. Like, it just I'm in charge of the WrestleTalk podcast. We can talk whatever we want for an hour.
Dude, I mean, for me, that was, like I said, next to the Fireball, I mean, it was just filled with so many insane moments. And if you just pay attention to the commentary, too, in the video, like, you can even hear it. I mean, even the commentators are shocked. And it really took me a second to notice. I had to do a few double takes, like, and I mean, he missed it. Like, that miss was just straight to the face. Just straight to the face.
I don't think they come any more perfect. Almost took his head off. It was wild.
So I'd say it was a pretty impactful way to make a return. I'm not gonna lie.
Absolutely. And I want to say you're not underselling the Fireball at all, because I was there, and when I can see it from the angle I was at, because he was facing against me, mind you, like Kruger was this way. So he threw it perfectly to where I could see it past his shoulder. And I'm just like, dude, when I tell you I marked out, it was so perfect. I'm sorry. As you can tell, I'm excited to talk about it. It was the whole event. But what does this spell for Satoshi Kojima? I mean, do you think he's targeting for the World Heavyweight Championship?
Man.
And who does Kojima go to for help, dude? Like he had second gear crew and Okamura, and they got trounced.
See, man, I'm kind of... This one is a little 50-50 with me. I'm not going to lie. Because, I mean, you mentioned the help. You mentioned the backup. So, I mean, who really has the numbers in it? You know what I mean? But I wouldn't mind seeing him. I mean, where do you stand with it?
I don't know how you can stop him. At this point, like that's where I'm at with it. Mid-States Wrestling, Harrison, Arkansas, and Springfield, Missouri, primarily. Be sure to check that out. Joshua Elliott, did you want to plug that? Did they have like an Instagram or anything? There we go, Renee. What's up?
Yeah, well, I don't know if Tyler's affiliated with them. I think Josh was speaking on the promotion that I was mentioning earlier. But definitely check them out. Definitely check them out.
Yes, absolutely. Sorry.
Am I interrupting MLW conversation? Because I love it.
Yes, you did. Thank you.
I am looking at the clock, and I want to be respectful. So, Tyler, there was something that I want to talk to you about. And Gabe, I'll bring you back in here momentarily, so you don't choke while you're eating that pizza. So there's a certain amount of questions that I wanted to ask you that are probably going to be a little bit more challenging than what we discussed before. I didn't necessarily give you a heads up, though I did mention that everything was on the table here on the WrestleTalk podcast. So as long as you're willing, I got a couple of questions about you and your relationship with with not only with just social media, but also with other members of the media and professional wrestling in the Midwest. So you told me everything was fair game. We're still on that note, right?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, perfect. So there was, and again, this is all accusations. Not all sides of the story have been heard, at least not on this show. When we announced that you were going to be on the show, it didn't take long for a couple of folks, and if they want to announce themselves, they can do that. If they don't, we're okay with that too. But we want to address it because this is a platform where we address and we like to bring people the truth. You heard that's why Big Daddy Pete was here. So my question to you is, can you give us some backstory on where some of these accusations came from? Because allegedly you're a mean guy and you don't like these people and you don't like those people. But I know from my own personal experience and everyone on the WrestleTalk team, we've had nothing but a positive experience. I know you ran into Luke Roberts and a couple of the guys up at the Hall of Fame that we talked about earlier. Nothing but good things there. Our interaction has always been positive. My guy Sonny, anybody else who's ever talked to you, they believe that you're a great guy. So what are these accusations about? Are they based in any truth? And what's your perception or perspective on them, if you wouldn't mind?
Yeah, so and I appreciate it. And like you mentioned, I'm not a bad person. I try to be nothing but positive and spread the love because this world is full of so much negativity. And I've been through so much in my life, and I don't have time for the negativity. I don't have time for the bullshit. I don't want it. I don't care for it. If you want to come in my life and you want to spread love and you want to get along, it's great. But if you want to, I don't have time. No matter who I'm affiliated with, and no matter what I say or do, I will always show you the utmost love, respect, and support. Just because I may not get along with certain members of a place that you're affiliated with, which is okay. Not everybody's going to get along with each other. I'm still going to support you. I'm still going to love you. And I'm still going to show you the utmost respect as long as I get that same love, support, and respect back. There was an incident, I want to say maybe about a year or so ago. I laugh reacted at a post on Facebook from a local wrestling promotion, and the Facebook post was in regards to a show that they were doing to help benefit a child with cancer. I did not read further into the post regarding the child with cancer. I would never intend to laugh at anybody with cancer. Cancer is serious. I've had family members that have had cancer. My intention was to never offend, hurt, or upset anyone. I made public apology after public apology after public apology directed towards that promotion, and anybody that reaction, may have affected at the time. I was still very, very fresh into the business, and I was still trying to grow and learn, and I've reflected on those mistakes, and I want to take the time publicly to apologize, because there are people that still feel that I'm a bad person and that I intended to make fun of a situation that this company was just trying to help a family. And I'm starting to get a little choked up, I'm sorry, but I never wanted to hurt anybody, and I'm sorry. I can't.
I guess I can say that I don't know you as much as I would like to get to know you in the future, Tyler, because we just kind of have befriended each other recently. But not many people have the courage to apologize, even if it's a genuine mistake. And I'm of the belief, and I'll bring Gabe on this in on this as well. I'm of the belief that if you genuinely made a mistake, then you should sincerely apologize for it. Now, that said, I think you've done that and well done. Nothing but props and respect for the courage that you just shown. I will say, as the big bro in this room, if you didn't mean it with malintent and it was just some bullshit joke, then I also don't believe that you should be apologizing just to appease people that you're never going to appease. Because if it's not that, then they're chastising you because your podcast only covers certain topics. And maybe they haven't listened to every one of your podcasts. I know somebody said that about us, and I had my guy, the Skywalker, he's a damn Rolodex. I said, hey, man, it'd be interesting. And he goes, already ahead of you. He goes, I'm going to look up how many different promotions we've covered just this year. Well, just this year, we've covered 14 different promotions spanning over 10 different states. So I know ain't nobody calling us biased. And from what I've seen with you, Tyler, obviously you're going to spend a little bit more time talking about the promotions that you're associated with. Duh. It was the same thing when I worked for XWE. We would talk about XWE every so often because Renee just happened to be a commentator there. But I don't think that those things should be misconstrued as you being biased or selfish. But I would advise you to also stand on business. And if you weren't intending to hurt anybody, because it certainly doesn't sound like you were, and you were just on some teasy, I'm 20 years old, which, by the way, how old are you?
20.
Okay, I'm pretty good at that. You're 20 years old, bro. I laughed at cancer jokes. I laughed at Hitler jokes. I laughed at racist jokes. And in some cases, I probably still will because it's fucking comedy, okay? If you don't like Dave Chappelle or those guys, I understand. It's just a little different for guys like us. Some of us find everything, we take everything with a grain of salt, and there can be a comedic aspect to almost anything. Now, cancer is one of those things that you really don't play with, but amongst the boys with a few beers, are we going to make fun of everything under the sun without any malintent? Yeah, we are. Because you know what my favorite jokes are? Mexican jokes. They're fucking hilarious. I love the shit, bro. It makes me laugh because I know that it's coming from people, okay? Because it's coming from people that don't have hate in their heart. And as far as I'm concerned, bro, you too young and too talented to have hate in your heart. You got a lot to offer. You have nothing but opportunity in this business. And there's a lot more people behind you than there are in front of you. So just keep that in mind, bro, because you don't got to apologize all the time just to appease the crowd, bro, because if it ain't this, it's that. And a lot of it can turn into just triggers. People like to just say shit. Oh, he's homophobic. He's transphobic. He's, this, that, the other thing, just to get you cornered into defending yourself. When in reality, bro, you didn't even mean shit by it to begin with. So I'll get off my little soapbox here and just let you know, bro, walk in confidence as long as you're also simultaneously walking in truth. Those are my thoughts.
I want to put something in on this because
my boy Carb, let's go.
I want to say what Tyler, not Tyler Cooley, but what Tyler DeWitt is saying at the bottom here. Okay. Now, Wrestling for Your Cure is one of the most well-known wrestling charity events around. And Tyler was a familiar face at the event. I saw him last year. We were both up in Waterloo for the Wrestling Hall of Fame weekend, and he was pleasant to everybody there, and look, I don't give a shit. I get messages from people saying, oh, if you associate with Tyler Cooley, we can't do bit. Fuck it. I don't, you know what? I'm 28 years old. If this is how it's going to be, Night Out, you can only say sorry to something that you made a mistake of.
That somebody else might have misunderstood.
Only so many times.
I'm not saying, I'm just saying.
Tyler is 20 years old. He shouldn't have to spend the rest of his life apologizing for one thing that was misconstrued.
An emoji, dog, for real?
An emoji taken out of context. Now, if he purposely...
It ain't worth it, bro. It ain't worth it.
Still did like, then yeah, we would probably have him on the show still, but this time rip him a new asshole. But right now, we are making it exactly like.
Got to keep it moving.
I know Tyler personally. I've seen the shit this guy has gone through. Okay, so for people, if there's and in all respect, if there's anybody that wouldn't be shitting on people with their struggles, it's him. So, and that's how I see it from my perspective. Look, I lost my grandpa to cancer. I lost my great uncle to cancer. My dad is a cancer survivor. So, yeah, the cancer thing hits pretty fucking close to home to me.
Same here.
Yeah. And, you know, a lot of people here are on the same boat. A lot of people that are tuning in are on the same boat. You got a lot of support. A lot of people have shown you that they support you and stand by you. Now, if for every 99 people that support you and love you, 1 or 2 people say that they don't like you, well, then that's a hell of a ratio if you ask me. I mean, you can't take it from me. With my anxiety and my depression and my mental health issues, I've struggled a long time worrying about what people think of me. I'm a bad people pleaser. I try like hell, and it's terrible. So I'm telling you this from the bottom of my heart. If you got all these folks that are tuning in that are supporting you, focus on them. Care about them. Make sure your relationship stays strong with them. Because the people that are constantly still bashing you, they're never truly going to like you.
They always going to find a reason, bro.
And it's not because they can't. It's just because they don't want to. And that is a reflection of them and not a reflection of you. So the best advice, and look, I know Renee is saying like how he's the older brother of all of this. I've still been through enough of this to where I know, like, trust me, and I've had to burn some bridges in professional wrestling, and it sucks.
Sometimes you got to cut them off, dog.
It fucking sucks. Yeah. But you know what? At the end of the day, you're doing this because you love doing this. So, you know, you have to do what's best for you. Understand that, yes, it was a mistake, but it was a mistake that's been blown way out of proportion.
It's convenient.
And it's convenient. And first off, if you clicked on an emoji and quickly clicked away off of it and to refix it, and that's the talk of someone in wrestling, then they aren't succeeding well enough because
that's the worst they can say about you, bro. You're doing okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, they can say a lot worse things about me.
Exactly. Abe, Night Owl, and I have had a lot of bad things said about us. Okay. Yep. I've had people like slap me across the face and call me the N-word. I've had people mock me about the Holocaust and all that. Like, I am telling you, if the worst thing that's happened to you when it comes to wrestling controversy is somebody saying, oh, he hit a laughing emoji at a cancer post, you're okay.
Either that or you haven't been here long enough.
Or you haven't been here long enough.
Which and here's the other part. Don't ever lose.
It's gonna get worse.
Yeah, it is. Especially if you become successful. Here's the other part of it. And we just hit 80, by the way. Thank you guys for being here tonight. Here's the funny part of it. Here's why the sense of humor fixes it all. Because as much as we all hate racism, this guy probably really likes bagels. This guy down here probably really likes plantains. This guy here really likes tacos, and that guy over there probably really likes hot dogs and steak. So there are some stereotypes that are.
Here, if this makes you feel better, here.
Dog, you see what I'm wearing?
Yeah, you want to hear one of the most Jewish things ever? This is one of the most Jewish things ever. Last night, we had the big fucking hailstorms and everything going around here. You know it, Tyler. We had all them storms last night. I
heard it was bad, yeah.
I drove in the flooding conditions and the hail and everything to the bank so I could get rent money.
This boy parted the sea.
I parted the sea so I could get my rent money from an ATM.
My brother.
If that ain't dedication to the moolah, I don't know what is. But let me tell you something.
That's
like
so
you are A-okay. We love you. Yeah, guess what? And I already know there's going to be people that watch this show that are going to be like, Jeremy, I can't believe you supported Tyler Cooley on this. you know what? Then message me. Okay, then shoot me a DM.
Yeah, let's
we'll
talk
settle
about
this.
it.
We'll talk about it. I'm not gonna bash you. You know, like if you're like you said, if you're good to me, I'm good to you. That's how men operate.
That's how
And
it
then
works.
if worse comes to worse, we beat the hell out of each other and have a beer afterwards to celebrate.
Get a pint.
You know,
Yep.
yeah, we have a pint. So that's that's the advice and what I had to say off my chest.
Freaking home run, Carp. Freaking home run. Gabe, I want you to jump back in here because we do got to get into the challenge at the end, but I think Gabe's been waiting very patiently. I feel like he's had something he wants to add. Let's give him the opportunity.
Well, I just gotta ask Tyler, as somebody who's getting into the wrestling business, you know, I got the press conference and I've told everybody how much I aspire to be where you're at right now. I mean, and you're younger than I am. And first of all, I have to say congratulations on your opportunity, bro. Like as a 20-year-old, just keep rolling with it. You're gonna stick, and like they say, you're gonna fall on your face every now and then, but you got this. But I want to ask you, you know, and it's sort of a role reversal here. What's some advice you can give to somebody when they get into something like announcing or, you know, supporting their local wrestling federation? I got one that I'm coming to, so I'd love to hear your thoughts and, like, I guess your process too. What do you do?
So, for me, when it comes to supporting your local independent wrestling shows, I mean, really just pay attention to who's running and where, I mean, when, you know, I mean, not everybody's going to run in your specific area, but they will run in your general area, your general vicinity. So just really pay attention to who's doing what. And if you are available, get your ass to that show, because I can promise you right now that you are not going to be disappointed. Like I said earlier, there are so many promotions that are just full of so many talent. And me personally, I mean, I know I can only speak for myself, but I'm never disappointed when I go to these shows. Never. And I really don't think you would be. So, I mean, really just pay attention. And if you're wanting to get in the business, see, for me, I originally wanted to be a manager. Like, I didn't even want to be a ring announcer or a commentator. I'm not even gonna lie. Like, that's straight up. I didn't want to do it what I was doing now. But now that I'm doing it, it's like, okay, maybe I like this. I like this. So I'm not in a hurry to get the manager stuff done. It's fun. It's just to get involved in this business in general is, like I said earlier, a dream come true. There's not necessarily a spot for everybody, but there's a spot for everybody, if that makes sense. I mean, that's just the way I think about it. Some people might disagree, and that's okay. I mess up a lot when it comes to my ring announcing, even with my commentating, and it's okay to mess up from time to time. You're going to beat yourself up over it, and that's okay. Just try not to beat yourself up over it too much, because everybody makes mistakes. Everybody messes up. You're not going to be that perfect commentator, that perfect ring announcer. It's a lot to keep up with. I mean, that's a lot of information to try to remember, and, you know, you're standing in the middle of that ring and, you know, getting the crowd hyped before the shows, and yeah, get in where you fit in. I'm so glad you said that, Adam. Thank you. Get in where you feel like you fit in the most, where you feel like you're the most accepted. So, like, for me, I mean, the promotions that I work for right now, I mean, every single one of those promotions has made me feel like home. They've made me feel like family, and they've made me feel accepted. And if I'm rambling, by the way, I'm sorry, but this is just a really good question, and I really like it. So I think it's very important to make sure that you get in with a promotion that you feel is, you know, accepted.
My style. Pretty much. But man, I appreciate the advice, Tyler. I mean, it's even it not to sound cliche, but it's like, you ever heard the phrase, in teaching you'll learn and in learning you'll teach? It's that sort of feeling I get where I have a lot of experience to gain from it. Doesn't matter if it's from somebody who's younger than me, it doesn't matter if it's somebody like Renee who's older than me. Just having that opportunity in wrestling is awesome, you know.
Absolutely.
Well, that's why we always do the national anthem early on in the show, because we're all grateful for the opportunities that we're granted here in this amazing country, regardless of what you feel We all have different backgrounds. Obviously, we were kind of joking about that earlier, but the fact that wrestling kind of funneled us in here together tonight for episode 476. Tyler, as you, and we're going towards the game show challenge now, but as you see the progression of WrestleTalk since you've watched us, since you were made aware of us, what words of encouragement can you give us as somebody who's just kind of getting started? You're full of vigor and piss and all that other cool shit when you're young. We're just a bunch of guys trying to make it to 500. So what kind of words of encouragement would you give us so that we can make it to episode 500 and maybe even beyond?
I mean, this is 476, right? 476.
Let me check here. Yep, 476. You got it.
All right, just wanted to. I mean, I've been watching you guys for quite a while now. Ooh, has it been a year? Has it been over a year? I think it might have been over a year. But I mean, first things first. Thank you for bringing me on the show and giving me this opportunity. I mean, it's been a blast. I've really enjoyed it, and hopefully people can get some sort of maybe takeaway out of this, maybe some sort of leniency. I mean, like Gabe was saying earlier, if my little bits of advice can help people, that's the most important part for me. So thank you guys. Keep doing what you're doing, because I continue to be more proud, more impressed. I mean, you guys have had some tremendous guests on the show throughout the past few years, months. I mean, I've gone back and I've watched episodes from the very beginning. And just to be able to watch you guys grow, I mean, as a podcaster too, 476 episodes. I don't know if I'm even into 50 yet. So 476 episodes is wild to me. It's incredible. It really is. And I mean, 500 is probably one of the biggest milestones that you could ever achieve. I mean, I know it's just one of many milestones, but that's incredible. I mean, it's incredible. And just hearing how the numbers just keep going. I mean, we were at 80 or
yeah, we have capped out so far tonight at 81 live viewers. If we can get even 10 of you guys to share this thing, we might even hit 100 tonight. So if you're out there watching, again, I'm still looking to give away some wrestling merch. I've got a Bootio's lunchbox, an open action figure, and a book as well, pro wrestling book. So if you hit that share button, that like button. Also, make sure you guys follow Tyler Cooley on all social media platforms. We're going to share that with you here shortly. But make sure you follow all of Tyler's stuff, because he's going to be one of those up-and-coming stars. He may be doing commentary at New Japan Pro Wrestling before too long. I actually got a chance to work with the guy.
Co-commentating.
2 years. No, you're going to be wrestling. You'll be wrestling. 2 years ago, I met a guy out in central Kansas who's now doing commentary for NJPW. So it's very, very feasible, especially if you don't burn bridges and you work your ass off and you ignore the haters. Those are the three. Those are the three keys. Woo! Let's go. Are we ready for game show? Because Card is breaking news. Whoa!
Gentlemen, we do have breaking news in store from the Interstate 70 Sports Center here in beautiful St. Louis metro area, Missouri. Pretty comfortable, actually. So, before we start the WrestleTalk Podcast Game Show Challenge, I have been informed that in Jackson County, Kansas, not out, you might want to really take a listen to this one. The voting is in regards to the 3/8 cents sales tax increase, basically in regards to new stadiums for the Royals and the Chiefs, based on public tax increase. The precincts are all reporting in Kansas City, and it's 57.8% voting no, whereas 2.2% vote yes. Both John Sherman and Mark Donovan have released statements, the chairmen of the Royals and the Chiefs, saying they will evaluate all options going forward. So, gentlemen, we now have ourselves an interesting situation out in Kansas City about what is going to happen with the Kansas City Chiefs and the Kansas City Royals now that the fans Jackson County has decided, no, we're not doing a tax increase to fund for public stadiums. They like it where it is. So,
wow.
Big breaking news. With all that said, folks, it is now time for
That's huge.
The most popular and historic wrestling podcast game show challenge out there. That's right. It's the one, the only WrestleTalk Podcast game show challenge. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this week's edition of the WrestleTalk Podcast Game Show Challenge, with special guest Tyler Cooley, of course. So, or as I should say, Night Owl, how do you say it?
Tyler Cooley.
I got it that time.
So, this is interesting because we are going to have the Night Owl this evening taking on Tyler Cooley. See,
Should we clarify that Tyler was the one who selected Renee, correct?
Now, that is true. We gave Tyler the option before the show went on the air of whether he wanted to face the Night Owl or Gabriel. Well, Tyler, with a little persuasion from the maestro himself, selected the Night Owl. Now, Gabe has has all the questions, but for those that are just tuning in for the first time, all 83, thank you all so much for tuning in. This is how the WrestleTalk Game Show Challenge goes. So, Gabriel will be asking Renee and Tyler a question of a particular professional wrestling topic. And whichever one of them knows the answer first, they just shout it out. The first person that gets 2 out of the 3 correct wins the game show challenge. So with that said, Gabriel, do you have all the questions and everything situated on standby?
Yes, I do, Maestro.
All right. And I will head backstage while you two gentlemen fight it out. I will be the tiebreaker in case if they say it too close. So Night Owl, Tyler, I wish you gentlemen the best of luck.
Tonight's WrestleTalk Podcast Game Show Challenge category, gentlemen, is famous announcers. I will give you information about 3 professional wrestling famous announcers. When you think you know the answer, shout out your answer. The first person to win 2 out of 3 falls wins tonight's contest. Gentlemen, do you both understand the rules?
No, yo no hablo inglés. Tienes que decirlo. Oh, yeah. Okay, I got you.
Seriously, Night Owl.
Somebody push the SAP button quickly. Let's go.
All right. All right. Question 1. This late NWA, WCW, and WWE Hall of Fame announcer was known for his time in WCW. Championship Wrestling from Florida. Georgia Championship Wrestling.
Dusty Rhodes.
NWA. That is. He was known for incorporating such terms as Pier 6
Gorilla
brawl,
Monsoon.
wearing a crimson mask, and the vertical
Jim Ross.
suplex.
No, he's alive. He's alive. Sorry.
Known as the Dean of Professional Wrestling Announcers.
Oh my God!
He would often end his broadcast with "So long from the Sunshine State." Name him.
Florida Championship Wrestling, bro. That's a little bit outside my little wheelhouse. I don't got an answer for that, bro. You said this is posthumous, somebody that passed away.
I'm just rereading the question right now.
Donde estoy? Dice, no hablo español. No hablo inglés. All right, we're gonna have to go to the next question, bro. Because I think me and Tyler are stumped. Are we stumped?
All right. Did we want to hear the answer? Just to
Tyler, are you
last
stumped?
chance to answer?
What's the answer? I'm curious.
Go ahead.
The answer was Gordon Soley.
I was thinking.
Oh my gosh! Bro.
Holy shit!
I swear, Skywalker, if all these questions are pre-1990, I'm going to slap the shit out of you with a cream horn neck. I'm going to slap the shit out of you with a cream horn neck on my sleeve. God damn it, bro.
All right.
I was born in 84, my guy.
So, no. Let's bring it back. Let's bring it back.
All right, ready.
So, question 2. This professional wrestling announcer has been affiliated with such professional wrestling promotions as Mid-South Wrestling, the Universal Wrestling Federation, the National Wrestling Alliance, World Championship Wrestling, World Wrestling Entertainment, and New Japan Pro Wrestling. Most recently, you have seen him on AEW broadcasts.
James Ross.
The winner of the first fall, Renee Night Owl Martinez. Jim Ross is correct. I had no idea he works for New Japan. He did?
He did, yeah. He did a Wrestle Kingdom right between WWE and AEW.
I believe he was with, Kevin Kelly and somebody else.
Why did I say Brian Kelly? Of course, Kevin Kelly.
It's Kevin
Brian
Kelly.
Kelly's another
Kevin
guy.
Kelly. There was somebody else he was with. Josh Barnett.
Josh Barnett.
He worked with Josh Barnett on Access TV. So
I'm gonna have to rewatch that tonight.
Yeah, it's easy when you're sitting in the recliner, Maestro. Try doing it live, tough guy. Go ahead, let's go, baby.
Oh, let's wrap this up. Excuse me. Question 3. This professional wrestler, after spending time in the ring for such professional wrestling promotions as the American Wrestling Association and the World Wrestling Federation, moved on to the announce table. Known for his colorful outfits, he sat alongside such legends as Gorilla Monsoon in the WWF, Tony Schiavone in WCW. After leaving professional wrestling, he moved on to the governor of Minnesota. Name him.
Yeah. 80s.
You guys should know this.
No, I know. Wait. Governor, he went into politics. Oh my gosh. It's on the tip of my tongue.
You're going to be mad when you hear the answer.
No. Wait. I got it. Please, I got it. Jesse the Body Ventura.
The winner of the second fall, Renee Night Owl Martinez. Jeremy was about to kill you. Rigged.
okay, hang on. You may say that's easy back here. I'm trying to manage the voting thing, I-70 thing, this thing, and trying to not get in my car, drive 4.5 hours to slap the Mexican right out of you if you did not get Jesse the Body Ventura. Like, come on.
Bro, you know my wrestling story, bro. You know there are big gaps. And number 2, you also know what it's like to do these live.
Yes.
People, we blank. We all, when you're doing a live challenge, you tend to blank on the most obvious shit. Plus, I won, so suck it, Carp.
I would give you the one with Gordon Soley. You to get that, I totally understand that. I feel it because that was just a wild guess out of my ass on that one. But Jesse, come on, man! I'm glad you got it.
Did he ever win a world title? I don't think he won a world title. What do I care about Jesse the Body Ventura? Jesus, has Minnesota gotten any better? I don't think so. It's still cold and it still sucks up there. Hey, anyway, all right. So we're gonna close out the show here tonight. Before I go, because I want to let you three do this. This has been such a spectacular show. I just want to say my parting piece.
Promotional consideration paid for by the following.
Right. And there it is. Let me handle that part. Thank you very much. Let me handle that part. If you can throw that up for me.
Mm-hmm.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, before I go, allow me to give props to another very important element of the WrestleTalk podcast, our wonderful sponsors. Royal Mills Transportation, Nobleman's Barber Lounge in Kansas City, Missouri, the Kincaid Arcade at the Oak Park Mall in Overland Park, Kansas, I-70 Sports Media, Little Popeye Designs, and of course, the world's premier fantasy wrestling promotion. Huge things going on in the world's premier fantasy wrestling promotion this weekend for Universe Mania 10. Now that I've said that, I also want to say this. Thank you, Jeremy, for your contributions tonight. I think this is definitely one for the history books as we continue to progress towards episode 500. Secondly, Gabe, thank you for not nourishing yourself during the show. I'm glad that you were able to stay nice and hydrated and well fed. That makes me very proud. Also, you did an absolutely wonderful job with your research. It's great to see the Warriors Heart Championship over the shoulder, and it's also great to see that you're humble enough to ask a guy that's younger than you for advice. That's why I love you. And for you, Tyler, bro, we 110% support you. And we may also be friends with the people that have chastised you. So let that serve as a lesson to everybody that you don't have to pick sides. You can be friends with more than one group of people. You just have to have one thing that is the underlying rule when you deal with anybody, and is you show them the respect that you want to be shown. And you have absolutely done that here tonight. So allow me to be the first to welcome you in as the newest member of the WrestleTalk Podcast family, brother. God bless you. Love you. God bless you. Love. Yes, yes, yes. An appropriate reaction. My last words will be this. Thank you. God bless you. And you always have a home here on the WrestleTalk Podcast, and apparently in the I-70 Sports Media empire as well. Have a great night, Tyler. Thank you.
No problem, man. Thank you. That was awesome.
We love to have Renee on the show, man. Like, trust me, he always manages to leave me speechless, dude. Like, I always learn so much from him, and he's so humble about it, though. But Jeremy, thank you so much for. I got to thank both of you. I mean, Tyler for being on the show, and then Maestro, I got to thank you for running the boards tonight. I know that can be a pain. But and also thank you to everybody in the audience. And I want to thank Mike for MLW. I can't get over it, dude. I got to meet Matt Riddle.
You did more than meet Matt Riddle, let's face it.
But episode 476.
You're more of a mark than I am.
When it comes to Matt Riddle, absolutely.
Oh yeah, no.
But Tyler, before I forget, I want to take the opportunity. Did you have to plug any kind of your socials, any upcoming events that you might be attending here? Anybody in particular you want to try and plug? Please, the floor is yours if you'd like to take that for us just before we wrap up here tonight. And then I don't know if we have any photos to display, but not to put you on the spot there.
I'll let each of you gentlemen close it out on your own, and then I'll close us out for good. So go for it, Tyler. Say your lovely socials so we all can know where to find you, my friend.
Cool. All right. I appreciate it. So you guys can find me on Facebook, Tyler Cooley, and it is actually the lovely picture of me getting eliminated from the Rumble, so it shouldn't be too hard to find. Same as Instagram, Tyler Cooley, same profile picture. You can find my podcast on Facebook as well, Keeping It Cool with Tyler Cooley and referee Scott Cross. I do have an ex. I was about to say the wrong thing. Trying to remember, because I just made it not long ago. I think it's like t.cooley19 or something like that. So you should be able to find me there on X. I do post there. As far as shows, Saturday, April 13th, Illinois Elite Wrestling is going to be in Granite City, Illinois at the Granite City Elks Lodge for Anarchy and Assault. That's going to be a pretty big show. You can get your tickets now at illinoiselitewrestling.ticketleap.com. Saturday, April 20th, New Genesis Wrestling is going to be at the Lou Civic Center in Mascoutah, Illinois. You can get your tickets at ngw.ticketleap.com for that show. Saturday, April 27th, IWA Productions returns to the IWA Productions Event Center in Mount Vernon, Illinois for IWA Productions Spring Fever. So you can get your tickets for that show. And I think that's it.
You got a lot on your plate in the next couple of days, man, but I can tell you're hungry for it. I mean, you're 20 years old doing all that. You can find the links right here. Alexander McNeil, thank you for putting those in the comments. Be sure to check them out. That's where we can keep up with you, Tyler. but I have to say, a very good show. Thank you, New Genesis Wrestling. Thank you for being on the show tonight, man. I mean, it's been lovely having you, and we can't wait to hope to have you in the future, especially on a road to 500. But I mean, thank you, man. I can't say it enough.
No problem. I really appreciate you guys giving me this opportunity. I had a lot of fun. I really did, and it honestly felt really nice to kind of just get on here and, just answer some questions and, try to give you advice and kind of just clear the air on some stuff. Hopefully it helped.
I mean, like we said, you don't gotta feel sorry about anything if you had it with no ill intent, huh?
And 500 episodes again is crazy. So the fact that I got to be a part of the journey is incredible.
We better see you in the comment section. No.
Oh, absolutely. Always.
You're like my favorite part of the show. Just you're the first comment we always have on there, man. You're like our number one fan. We love it.
I try.
All right, well, Tyler, have yourself a wonderful night, my friend. Thank you so much for joining us this evening, and we'll be definitely talking to you soon.
No problem.
Tyler Cooley, ladies and gentlemen, on the WrestleTalk Podcast.
Tyler Cooley.
Gabe, any final parting words as we start closing up shop for the evening?
Just thank you to everybody in the audience tonight. I mean, it's insane to think that we're up to 80 right now, and we wouldn't be able to do it without you. So we're on our way to 500. We hope to see you there. We've enjoyed the night. It was, thanks to people like Tyler Cooley, thanks to people like MLW. And I just have to say, I can't wait to see you guys back here in Tampa. I'm going to be the first one there. But with that being said, Jeremy, I think it's time for us to wrap things up here on the WrestleTalk Podcast. This has been Gabriel Arcin down here in Florida, but be sure to catch us next Tuesday at the WrestleTalk Podcast, as always, for your pro wrestling news and all of your wrestling talks. So be sure to hit us up on X, #Let's Talk Wrestling. But this has been Gabriel Arcin. You have a good night. Jeremy, always good to see you. Have a good one, man. Take care of yourself.
Have a good night, Gabriel. God love you. All right, Gabriel Arcin on the WrestleTalk Podcast. Okay, folks, I'm here to finish everything up. I'm the maestro, Jeremy Carpin, of course. Thank you all so much for tuning into the WrestleTalk Podcast. For those that are tuning in for the first time, we just had an amazing show. Actually went on almost 45 minutes longer than our usual shows do, but you know what? It's absolutely worth every second of it. Also, be sure to tune in tomorrow night on Facebook, X, and YouTube for the newest episode of Roundabout Sports, starring myself, presented by Interstate 70 Sports Media, which is simulcasting this broadcast. But I just want to thank everybody. And before we close up the show, I also always put on here that we do always want to understand that we put the National Suicide Prevention Hotline on the screen. And for those tuning in, the line is 988. The line's open 24/7, 365, 366 on leap years. Understand you're never alone in this world, and there's always somebody out there that loves you, that cares about you. You definitely matter in this world, and you are just a phone call or a text message or an email away. You are always loved. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm Jeremy Carpin. Remember, life is a book full of empty pages just waiting to be written in. Make your lives worth reading.